What's up, everybody? How are you guys? What's
Whew.
up?
Okay. Hopefully everything's working now.
Hopefully,
What up?
but we
What
never
up?
know.
What up?
We'll never know.
Because
Uh,
that's how technology works.
yes.
So yeah,
Um,
how's LA?
it was great. Had an awesome performance. Probably my most subdued performance.
Hmm.
Usually, maybe in the past, I'm a little animated. I like to have fun on stage and stuff, but this was a first time in my life I've ever performed where it was controlled. I guess
Hmm.
maybe performing in front of a phone for like almost 6 years, 5 years or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that's takes some nerves out, but you're also doing it in front of people, right? You're doing this in front of people,
Yeah.
so it wasn't
I
really a
feel like
stage
that.
that you can
Yeah.
work. It wasn't a stage that you can
Uh,
work, but it seemed like a very intimate environment for intimate music that I was doing.
okay.
So yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, I got a good good words, good feedback from folks, even folks I didn't know too, which was
Hmm.
awesome.
Hmm.
But when people ask me how was my trip, this was my trip, Ninja. I
Yeah.
had to take a train from Sacramento all the way to LA. That's almost
Hmm.
12 hours or something like that, right?
Hmm.
That's almost 12 hours or something like that. And
Yeah. Yeah.
for 12 hours, no, I won't say 12 hours. As soon as we got to San Jose from Sacramento, I was like, I'm
Hmm.
feeling good. All right, cool. I've never been on a train before. Where kind of disorienting because you're sitting against of where, when you're driving, you see where you're going.
Yeah.
So the seats are pretty much you're sitting down, but then you're kind of going backwards, right? Or
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
disorienting. And also you're in a cabin, almost like an
Hmm.
airplane with people. And of
Yeah.
course, there was dirty people in my cabin, which I did
Okay.
not enjoy. Like, damn it!
Yeah. Yeah.
And some guy was supposed to get off the train already because it was his stop, or he might have missed his stop. I'm not sure, but he was supposed to get off the train. So I was just waiting for him, like, get up out of your seat. I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna sit here. Whatever.
Hmm.
But by the time we got to San Jose, shout out to my boy Bazooka Joe who went on this trip with me, right? Um, Bazooka had encountered this woman from the time he went to go check in, also. So by the time he was checking in, this lady, cat lady, by the way, right? Cat lady, kind of a big lady too.
Okay. What did she bring a cat with her? Is that why she's a cat
Yes,
lady?
yeah.
Okay.
Not
Excellent.
not only did she bring a cat with her, brought cat litter, brought an ice box full of food, you
Jesus.
know,
Okay.
the whole nine. Shout out to everybody out there in Kumu Kumusta. So the guy that was sitting next to her, which is somebody that I joined in Sacramento,
Hmm.
on one of our first breaks, he goes, "Hey, can we smoke weed outside?" And I was like, "I don't know." I was like, "I left mine at home. I didn't know if we can, you know."
Yeah.
So these conductors, first of all, Waldo, they're bearded and they look like conductors
Okay.
with a conductor hat. I
Sure.
think I think you might have to be in a Hi do, how are you? You might have to be in a how do you say it? I think when you become a train conductor, you must own a beard and a conductor hat, a huge
Yeah.
beard.
Yeah.
You got to really look the part. So He tells us there's a cigarette break, whatever, 10-minute break. So we all go down. Hi, do. How are you? We all go down off the train. I smoke a cigarette. Everything is cool. Going back to the lady, he looks at Bazooka Joe and he says, I'm going to have to change seats because this lady was ordering him around. Well, not ordering him. Honey, can you get my bag on the overhead? Honey, can you go get that ice chest where the luggage compartment is at? Okay, it's a bag full of cat litter, like asking him a whole bunch of stuff. So this dude was talking about, yo, I'm gonna go. Hi, Lawrence. How are you? Talking about my trip to LA, Lawrence, and also my train ride there. So this lady was asking him for too much, and the guy said, hey, I'm gonna go find another seat. He literally left. He left the seat. So it's me and Bazooka Joe here, and the cat lady sitting across from us. She then starts asking Bazooka Joe, hey, honey, can you can you go in my overhead and get my blue backpack? Just a whole bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets to a point where I think Joe already knows how this trip's going to be. He's going to be getting a bunch of stuff for this lady, helping her out. She can't really move around, all this stuff. People are already complaining on the cab too about how this cat is giving people allergies and all this stuff. So after about maybe 2 hours of that, 2 hours, Waldo, maybe three, me and Joe is literally like sleeping. We're snoring, all this stuff. But then all of a sudden we wake up because she's praying loudly too. She's praying loudly. So I'm just like, oh man, this is a lot. Let's go eat. First time eating on a train. So we go to the cabin, go have some microwave food. That's all they had in our department. Had some microwave food, sat in this weird top level thing where the windows are big and you can kind of see you get to see a side of California that you don't get to normally.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also came across a prison, which was awesome. You know what I mean? Just in the middle of nowhere. I forget which one it is. Has to be a major one, but yeah, came across it too. I was just like, oh, cool, men's facility. That's awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, you don't think about reception. You don't think about reception also being like all of a sudden dead in certain spots.
Yeah.
So again, it was very interesting to ride that way. After about the 5th hour, though, hi Marjorie, how are you? After about the 5th hour, though, she then starts trying to talk to me, Waldo, and she says, "Hey, you're that guy." And I was like, I'm not that guy, man. I don't know. I don't know what. And she goes, you're that guy. You're that karate guy. You're that kung fu guy. I go, ma'am, I am not a karate guy. And the person in front of me is laughing. It's another old lady. She's laughing.
Okay.
And she goes, you're that guy. You're that kid. You're that kid that did karate. I was like, ma'am, I'm not. I've never done karate in a movie. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't know who you're. She's like, you're that handsome, that guy. You're that handsome guy. I was like, man, if the karate guy was a handsome dude, I'd love it. I love it because I'm just a regular Joe that's trying to put two nickels together. That's exactly what I said. And the lady in front of me starts even laughing more. She's like, can't even hold it in, right? Really laughing. Waldo, this went on for like almost 2-3 hours of you're that guy, and Bazooka Joe is egging it on like, just fucking say you're him, dude. Just say you're him. And after the first hour, there was this one part. I'm leaving a lot out. But there's this one part where I'm turning to the window and I'm literally holding in my lap. Like I cannot hold it in. So I have to look out the window. Bazooka Joe was sitting next to me. He thought that I was crying. that I had a moment. So I'm
Okay.
turned
Okay.
over. I'm turned over like this, not trying to laugh in front of this person because man, our next break or stop is such a long way, and we have
Hmm.
nowhere to go, right? So she's talking about, you're that guy, you're that karate guy, and then she ended up saying also, the story gets even more wilder. She's like, my brother. She said my brother happened to, know Bruce Lee. You know what I mean? And this is where, okay, I think this person's lying now, right? This person
Hmm.
could potentially be lying and all that stuff. Try to make it personal by saying Bruce was a jokester. Like she
Hmm.
knew him like that, you know what I mean? Like he was a jokester. And then she tried naming, she goes, what's the name of that one white actor? What's the name of that one white guy? All this stuff, right? And of course, Bazooka Joe eggs it on because she's trying to think of the show that this actor is on, but she gets the show completely wrong. She says like Chicago Blue, I think was the name of the show. I don't even know if that's a real show, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think it
So
is.
Bazooka Joe just out of nowhere says Chuck Norris. She goes, my brother fought Chuck Norris, but Chuck Norris lost. So he doesn't like to talk about that. He's mean spirited, you know. So at this point, I'm trying to like, man, this lady's crazy, right? This crazy cat lady talking about, her brother fought Chuck Norris and won, but
Yeah.
Chuck is sore and bitter off that loss. Talk about she was friends with Bruce and how Bruce treated her sister well and her brother well and all that stuff. So I'm thinking she's like, you're that guy, you're that karate guy. So I was thinking in my head, oh wow, she thinks all Asians maybe look alike, right? I start thinking that now. So I can't take this anymore. I go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom. Hi guys. Hi Essential. What's up, Quincy? How are you? So I go to the bathroom and she literally grabs Bazooka Joe's arm and she said, "Tell me that's that guy. Tell me that's that guy." Like really trying to make it like I'm a karate kung fu guy.
Yeah.
And I did catch her. I did catch her taking pictures. She was on the low taking pictures, like
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
by the waist. You know what I mean? Where the phone is at. And she then told me about how I just told my sister I'm sitting next to the guy, and all this stuff. So like we were trying to think of who this person was she was thinking of.
Yeah.
Not only that, it was just a lot, from
Hmm.
this lady. Besides eating good in LA and all that stuff, that was pretty much my trip. What's up, yeah, Yareg13? I hope I said it right. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Ron Sara. That's Ninja Iceberg. Thank you guys for joining. What up, RH? How are you? Just recapping last week. So yeah,
Yeah. When I've only done it like twice in my life, riding on
riding a train.
taking, well, not even just,
What
well,
up,
not
Rocky?
train, but like long distance, like ground transportation for long distances, like public ground transportation,
It's
like
like
because
being on a plane.
I've done Greyhound before and I've done the train before, and it was early, like I was like 19, 20 years old, right? Is when I did this kind of stuff, just to see what it was like, because I had no idea what it was like. Either I would be in a car, you know, driving down to LA, or flying on an airplane somewhere. But I'd never like
Thank you,
taken a
Rocky.
train, and I never took Greyhound before. So you know there was one time I decided, me and some friends decided to go to like, I think I was like 20 years old. I wasn't even 21 yet. We decided to go to Vegas for some reason. It's like, it makes no sense if you're 20 years old and you go to Vegas because
You can't
you
really
can't
do
really do
anything.
anything. You can't really do anything in there. You can't drink and you can't gamble. So what the hell do you do? But they wanted to go, so I just went with them. I didn't really drink and I don't really like gamble, so I didn't really care. But they wanted to go hang out and see Vegas, so we decided to take the train. Um, Here's the thing about taking the train from San Jose to Vegas: you have to ride a bus to Sacramento or somewhere in the Central Valley, and you take the train that you took as well. I'm fairly certain
Mm,
you take the
mm.
same train down. Once we get down to Bakersfield, we had to take another bus into Vegas. And let me tell you, that was like an 16 or 18 hours of
Oof.
a ride. Yeah. Because,
Oof. That's a
because,
lot of transfers too.
oh, dude. Well, it was only really just the one transfer. Like, it didn't really stop or anything like that. It was just straight all the way to Bakersfield from like Sacramento to Bakersfield. And then from Bakersfield onto Vegas. I think there was one stop in the middle of that. We didn't get to Vegas until like, I don't know. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning. It was like an overnight trip. It was actually one of the most like horrible and interesting experience I've ever like had because you
Mm.
meet the weirdest people. Like you with your cat lady. We had a guy on our ride that kept talking about like, I don't know, some house that he used to like live in that was always bloody, and we were just like, okay, cool. You lived in a haunted house. That's great. I don't want to hear about it.
That's crazy.
But yeah, you get the most like you get some of the weirdest people, honestly, on these
Yep.
rides. I honestly, it's and I get it. It's inexpensive, and or you're afraid of flying, right? And so you're just gonna get some really odd people at these in these situations. But dude, it was, oh my god, it was such a nightmare, and just because it was so long that we were stuck on a train. We were stuck in Bakersfield after the train ride. I don't even remember how long the layover was. It was like a 2 or 4 hour layover. We were stuck in Bakersfield, downtown Bakersfield. And it's like, dude, we've never been to Bakersfield. We had no car, so we walked around, bored out of our minds, trying to figure out what the hell to do in Bakersfield. There's, let me tell you, there's nothing to do there.
Nothing.
There's
No,
nothing
nothing.
to do there. Literally nothing. We walked around, found some place to eat. And then we walked back to the train station to wait for a bus, and it was horrible.
Yo, shout out to RH Factor. He's in the live stream right now, dropping a whole bunch of comments. He's saying much love, Ron. Thanks for the support. I appreciate you. He was saying that he was stationed actually out there in Vegas when he was 17 at Nellis Air Force Base. Said much love to Ninja Iceberg, and he said he used to take the 5 hour bus from LA to Vegas just to make $300 after a tour.
Yeah,
But his ticket was only 20 bucks.
yeah.
You know what I
I mean,
mean?
it's definitely a good deal, and if you don't mind the occasional odd person, it's interesting. But oh my god, I
RH,
don't recommend it. I don't recommend it.
but RH did say, I honestly would love to do that journey with you guys, fly to the Bay and get back to Vegas. I'd cover the cost. We could stream it, make it happen. Oh man. Well, RH does you work for the big guy, right? RH, you work for the big guy, I think, or you do things for the big guy. You know what I mean? So if you could cover that trip, you know what I mean? Oh, he's retired now. Okay, gotcha. You know what I
Mm.
mean? No, but I was gonna say, yeah, uh, going on a train ride, to be there that long. You were talking about having to do multiple transfers where you're jumping from a train to a bus
To a
to another
bus, yeah,
bus, getting
yeah,
stuck
yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
I've had to do that a whole bunch of times too in the Philippines too, which is super hard. You know, I've done that from a boat to a plane, literally to. I mean, I've done one vehicle each, land, sea, and air type. You know what I mean? On trying to go home. You know what I mean? So, Jason is in the house. How are you, Jason?
I'm good. I'm sore.
We're just playing catch up from the last 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Hope you're doing well. Shout out to everyone that's in the comments right now. Shout out to RH. And I was going to say, if you guys happen to be watching us on another platform and all that stuff, shout out to you guys. If you guys want to put your comments in the chat anywhere you're at, we'll go ahead and put them up on the screen for you guys to see. Ron, you would make a rad manager, by the way. Man, I would love to. I do have a ASM experience, assistant store manager experience. So yes, I would. Dude, that's 60 people. That's 60 people fucking bitching at you, telling, "Oh, can I have a day off? Do all this." You know what I mean? So. You're too talented to manage. Oh man, I appreciate you, RH. Thank you guys so much. But a lot of good things did come out of this LA trip. Of course, being able to work with Kumu USA. Shout out to them. Shout out to One Down for letting us use their studio and all that. Shout out to Tessa and Christine. I was gonna say I met some people there though that seeing what we can do, with the Elite X. They know we've been here for a while and all that stuff. So hopefully we do have some outside sponsorships that I've been talking to. One of our Elite X members actually has a deal going on with these folks already. Probably, I think he's going on the second year dealing with these guys. But I was like, hey, if we could use a podcast, you know what I mean? And I think they might go for it. So, a lot of good things, came out of this trip, besides the fact that, again, we were harassed for almost 14 hours of me being the karate guy. You're him, aren't you?
Yeah,
like, no, lady, I'm not.
Pretty impressive. Yeah,
dude, for like 7 hours, she was like, "You're the karate guy. You're him." And at one point, when she started lying about the whole Bruce Lee thing, Chuck Norris thing, and all that stuff, I almost wanted to be like, "Lady, I know you're lying." Like, I wanted to hit my chair, be like, "Your brother never fought these men. You don't know these gentlemen. You're just trying to make up for the fact that you accidentally mixed me up with another Asian man of some sort." You know what I'm saying? And I did not like that. You know what I mean? Shout out to RH Factor. Shout out to Mai, who's in the house. Hi, Mai. How are you?
Probably thought you were Ernie Reyes Jr. or something.
That's who me and Joe automatically. When we got to our next stop where you could smoke a cigarette, I was like, dude, I need to smoke a cigarette. And then I told him that, dude, I wasn't crying. Because, Jason, there was this one part, too, where I was looking out the window and I was covering, like, my mouth, and all Bazooka Joe could see was my shoulders going up and down while I'm looking out at a beautiful California coastline or whatever. And he thought that I was really crying when I was laughing and holding in my shit, because at one point I just wanted to laugh and I couldn't. I couldn't be like, no, I'm laughing because you're calling me a karate guy when I'm not, like, it was tough, So when we got to the next stop, I think Bazooka Joe said, so I think, we shouldn't be annoyed. There's something, wrong with her, and all that stuff. I was like, yeah, that's fine. And he goes, I have to deal with people. He goes, I have to deal with people like this all the time. Then I had a flashback of me working at the mall, dealing with certain individuals like that you would, come across at the mall or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm not that karate guy. She probably was thinking Ernie Reyes, but then knowing who she was and she was pulling all these names out, I was like, I am not that guy, man. I'm a regular Joe. I'm broke. I told her I'm broke. If I was a karate man, I wouldn't be taking the train. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If I was a karate man, I wouldn't be taking the train. So, but again,
honestly, I'd do it just for fun.
You should have
the experience.
You should have told her that your specialty was Wu-Tang.
Yeah, I should have said something like that. Something that she
Yeah.
couldn't get, but almost
Yeah,
get. You know what I mean?
you should
I
have
don't think
told
she
her.
I
would get
come
that.
I come from the 36 chambers.
My master
I
belonged
trained
to
with a
the Wing Kong Exchange. Master Lopan.
Yes.
Dude, I swear it was a crazy journey, and I was thinking about how people travel by train because they probably
Mm,
that's their only means, or
yeah.
maybe they might be like John Madden to where they're like, oh, I don't fly, so I'll take car, I'll take train, I'll take any of that stuff. Hi,
Yeah.
Gabby, how are
Yeah.
you?
Greyhound
Good seeing
or
you, Gabby.
whatever. Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. I would never take the Greyhound because what type of people go on the Greyhound. You know what I'm saying? They're moving that work probably. You know what I mean? Or they're on the run. You know what I'm saying? They're doing
True.
something.
True.
And I wouldn't want to be on that bus.
I'm saying I've done that once and I wouldn't do it again.
Gabby goes, we all know what happened on the Hound. You know what I mean? Like, so Gabby, I'm talking about my trip to LA last week. Talking about how, yeah, I'm happy I got to do the concert. That was fun and all that. But when people ask about how my trip was, I'm talking about this 12 hour, 14-hour train trip where this lady was accusing me. By this point, she was accusing me of being that karate guy, that kung fu guy, and I didn't know who that was. She never got the name, and we would say like Chuck Norris and put in certain names that she didn't know. You know what I mean? But we never said Ernie Reyes, just in case. You know what I mean? We're like, nah, I don't know who that is. So yeah, I got to a point where I was thinking she probably thinks all Asians look alike. I was highly offended by that. Alexis Akiro is in the house. ¿Cómo está? What's up?
How's the ride back?
The ride back was better. It was better. It wasn't boring because I got to hang out with Bazooka Joe, for the entire weekend. So we had to get up early on Sunday morning to start at 9 o'clock. I didn't get home till midnight. You know what I mean? I didn't get home till midnight. So such a long trip. But I would do it again. I honestly would do it again. I think it would be fun if you were to do it as a big party. And maybe if you were to get your own cabin, or at least, you guys are together, that'd be cool. Did not know, though, that they have overnight compartment areas where you get like a bunk bed and a full bed, and you get meals that aren't microwave food. Like they give you like probably like airplane type food where it's hot,
right,
and all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh.
1, 2, 3, disappear.
Damn, you hella called it.
I was like almost on point.
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
So funny as hell.
Hella called it. You gotta watch that again.
Yeah, watch that part later, Ron, when you have a
It
chance.
was so good.
I thought it was like a half-second delay. It was hella funny.
I don't even know what happened.
At 28 minutes, you disappeared.
And they go, that's gonna happen. And you went 1, 2, 3, disappear, and then we all disappeared.
It was pretty impressive.
Shout out to RH Factor. Shout out to Gabby the Greatest. We appreciate you guys for coming through.
I mean, speaking of train lines, Japan is very. They have a lot of sleeper trains. Like, if you do overnight traveling there in Japan, they do have a lot of that too. So even in Europe, I mean, you got to travel.
I don't mean to be messy, but are they like small? Are they like hella small?
I mean,
I know. I'm sorry. Is that wrong?
It's hella funny. No, I mean, that's what I thought too. But then when I watched, because they have a lot of people doing stuff on YouTube, where they'll show you like how big the compartment is, And the guy's pretty tall. He said he was like 5'11". One guy was like 6 foot. So I mean, he fit. So if they could fit, I could probably fit. So
It's reasonable. Yeah.
I'm just saying, man. I don't know.
I know what you're talking about. I'm like, that's even like I looked. I was like, is that even?
That's wrong. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't think that a certain Asian majority, I don't know, is of small stature. I shouldn't think that. Gabby said it's valid. I can only use my grandfather fought them in World War II excuse so many times. I don't think I can use it in this particular.
No.
You know what I mean? I can't use it in this one. Yeah, it's not valid in this one.
No.
Inside Shop is in the house. ¿Cómo está? Shout out to Inside Shop. I was talking to Inside Shop. Were you guys the ones I was talking to about cards? Let's talk to Inside Shop real quick. Shout out to Inside Shop. Shout out to Gabby the Greatest. Inside Shop, I appreciate you for coming through again. My name is Ron Sara. This is a Hub 408 episode 145. Are we on episode 145? You got Jay Jericho in the house. Ninja Iceberg. Talking a little bit about LA and what happened. I was actually talking to these guys while I think I was on a train. I saw these guys talking about cards. Basketball cards.
Oh.
Right? And just so the timing happened to be very cool, I got a job at one of the oldest comic book card shops in Sacramento. This guy has been around for 30 years. You know what I mean? And he's been collecting since the 90s. So I first went in that store on some, what are my cards worth? I don't have them with me. I just want to know, what are these cards worth?
Mm-hmm.
And it got to a conversation to where I got to work with him. He was like, come back tomorrow morning. You know what I mean? Because I told him, hey, I worked at a comic book store. I've done this, yada, yada. Man, all of a sudden, it's been a long time since I've collected. So you get a crash course of who's good, who's not, who's worth it, who's nothing.
Right.
And sad to say, but none of the cards from the 90s, 80s, 90s, they're fucking worthless. They're worthless. Like back in the day, how we used to praise like an Anthony Hardaway or a Alonzo Mourning rookie card or a Shaq rookie card. These are cards that, unless graded, nobody cares about. Nobody cares about cards unless they're graded.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's all about the way I figured out for the past, I think, 15, 20 years. Like everything that is not graded now, it's pretty much, like you said, it's trash. Which kind of sucks.
It sucks.
It sucks, but like to get stuff graded, this is the second part. To get stuff graded, you have to pay a service fee. In order for your card to get value and grade. I mean, in the long run, it's really good because then it's like you pay. Let's say you paid $1.50 for a first issue comic book, like just in general, and then you keep it pristine, and then you send it in for grading, and then they give it like a rating of let's say like a 9.6, right? And then it goes up in value. Plus, it's graded, so it kind of doubles or triples the value of that.
Yeah, it adds value to it, but it's kind of shitty because you have to get that service.
And then just the fact that you have to pay for it to grow in value.
Yeah,
I mean it's like stocks. It's like stocks. Pretty much. It's
like a home.
Level. Yeah.
It's like a house.
But it made me think, though. It made me think about the old days where you could tell when a card is super clean.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then there'd be the days of like, you're literally training your eyes to, find out this is a good card. Or remember, I used to hate comic books with black covers because you would leave your fingerprint.
Yeah.
On the cover, yeah.
You have to hold it on the sides. You have to hold it on sides.
Yeah, we handled
if you had no gloves,
we handled things very differently. So it's funny to be, again.
I would used to on the shelf, I would used to like search through all the different comics to make sure the spine, find one where the spine wasn't creased. Right, I would search through all of them, and it's like, oh, this one's got a good spine. I'd buy that one. Yeah. It's
Just to go back to the
definitely-
just to go back to the cards real quick. Inside Shop was saying can't reveal the company name, but an up and coming grading company is outsourcing some grading work out here in Manila. I believe he was talking about the junk wax era of cards that are pretty much worthless. The wax packs. There are some
Mhm.
cards that are valuable as raw cards, but they are mostly Jordans. Gabby was also talking about comics out here. They sell in on the street for chump change. $25 minimum PSA is the economy service.
Yeah.
Is what Inside Shop is talking about.
Yeah.
So again, this is my second time working at a comic book shop. Much bigger volume of product. We're cleaning out a back storage room that the store next door actually now owns. So we got to get all that stuff out of there in a month. I've never touched old cards before. I've never touched something from like 1958 or 1959. You know what I mean? I get to see
Yeah.
old cards. I get to see some badass cards. I get to see graded, like I get to see cards that you would think when we were kids, like, oh, that would be valuable to us. It's just lying on the floor.
Mhm.
There's just so much product in this place. Like I'm moving comics, no bags and boards, these savages, right? No bags and boards, and literally just putting them in boxes and boxes and boxes. There are so many like if all those books out, there'd be no possible way. I mean,
Yeah.
there would be kind of the setup is okay. It's an old school setup. So when you go in there, a lot of junk, but good junk. A lot of open stuff, a lot of stuff on the shelf. You know what I mean? As far as toys, they got Pops there, Marvel Legends. They'll have stuff from the 90s. They'll have the old Toy Biz toys from like when we were 10,
Yeah.
11.
Oh, man.
They'll have some of that stuff. So it started making me think about the type of stuff that I would have had if I still had my storage unit, if it never got sold and all that stuff. The type of store I would have had, it would definitely have been a curated type of store where, like, for example, these guys got a bunch of Hot Wheels that nobody wants, right?
Yeah.
They're all good looking cars, but it's nobody wants. If you know who your audience is, I'm not selling to these older white gentlemen that are into muscle cars.
Yeah.
I'm selling to the guys that's into JDM stuff. They're into Toyota. They're into, they're probably Filipino, like me and you. I don't know. But that's a hot stuff right now. So would I be collecting a fucking Corvette right now? Am I collecting a Mustang right now? No, I'm getting certain cars, And of course you get the novelty cars. If you get a Batmobile or if you get a Hello Kitty van, as a buggy or something like that, you're gonna want that stuff for, the X-Men jet, stuff like that. So working at the store these last 2 weeks, I got to go in tomorrow too at 9:00 in the morning. Also, I get to learn who the major players are in Sacramento as far as like who does cards. What are things actually worth? But the one thing I found to be really cool is things depend on the draft, right? So like say the NFL draft, they have these cards coming out and they're the ones from last year, whatever class it was from last year.
Mhm.
But if you were to buy a pack or buy a box of these, you don't know if these guys are going to end up any good, right? You don't know if these guys are going to end up any good. So you're taking the gamble on that. So they were talking about how this year's draft was very horrible. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't an exciting first round. A lot of the first picks, they weren't really exciting. So,
I mean, yeah, because a lot of people are looking for the sexy quarterback. That's
and it was just and that's exactly it.
But then
mostly a bunch of defensive players is what Inside Shop was saying.
yeah. I mean,
So
they are gonna have great value at the end of their career. But
At the end of their career. So if
Right
you're trying to
now-
move a box of
of rookie
these,
cards, yeah, it's like
it's gonna
Good luck.
fucking. You might as well not even buy a box.
Mhm.
You know, you might as well not even buy a box. So
No, you buy a box and you let it sit around for like 5 years.
then that's
5-6
when you,
years.
yeah, that's when you
Yeah.
start selling it. That's like you have to wait. Like rookie, that's what I've seen so far. Like I did this back in I think 07. I bought a pack of rookie cards for basketball, and then it never panned out because I didn't buy a box. I bought like 2 packs. Never
Oh.
opened it. I never opened it. I just waited, and then I was like, and then I opened it, and I was like, I got like
get upset.
I got a bunch of not even B plus, but like C plus players.
Oh,
I was like, oh man,
Oh.
that sucks. Well, one pack had doubles. I hate that.
oh,
That's the worst.
Inside Shop is saying the flawless triple logo man LeBron James has been pulled $5 million US. That's crazy. What's up, Sabotage? So yeah, again, working at the store, I get to get a crash course in cards. I get to find out what's hot. I literally called my dad today, and I was like, "Dad, what's up?" And he's like, I got some good news. I was like, all those cards that we have, some of them are usable, but the bad news is like most of those cards are probably trash.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to explain to him the grading system too, of how you would turn in your card for grading and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So I'm just hoping, and I've seen the cards. I've seen the cards that we've had. They're in pretty good condition, but who knows? You know, because it's all up to somebody else that's going to be grading your stuff. But I basically told him, I was like, hey, if we have, you know, Kobe rookies, which we do, if we have the Iverson rookies, the Steve Nash, the Paul Pierces, you know, those guys, I think we're good. But I was like, you know, I'm sorry, but you know, other people's autographs or whoever don't really matter at this point.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
So it was kind of heartbreaking to tell the old man that. But then it also made me think about, well, if you get a good enough card and you're willing to part with it, you know, for whether it's $500 or $600 or whatever it is, it could be more than that. Why not? And put it to somewhere good would be awesome. Inside Shop is saying we should get some affiliation contract of some sort with that local store. We can funnel the high end cards from Manila to be open to the North American market. Hey, you know, let's make it happen. I was gonna say one thing that also caught my mind when oh there's Ninja. He did a disappearing act as well. You were talking about old stuff that you didn't open, Jason. I seen this customer come in. He's buying a whole bunch of sports cards. But then all of a sudden he sees something, and then he goes, "Question: You guys got comic cards?" And my boss goes, "I only got Marvel Universe Series 2. It's sealed though, boxed and stuff." And he was like, "I'll take it." I'm just like, "Oh shit, dude!" I was like, "If I had known they were there, I was just like, oh, dude, that's kind of cool." I would have just loved those for myself. I don't know if I'd pay like $140 or whatever he paid per box.
He did that without hesitation.
Yeah, he was just like, "Ooh, do you got that?" He's like, "I'll take it." You know what I mean? He just said, "I'll take it," and the guy goes, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Oh shit! If I had known he had those packs, I would have loved to have gotten those." And then I fell in a wormhole last night. You know how you can look up on YouTube and see whatever. So I started looking at these guys now grading their comic cards. You know, guys from back in the day, they're grading the holograms. They're grading the, and these are the cards that we bought as kids, you know, in elementary school or middle school or whatever it was. And it was very interesting to see some people getting low grades, some people getting high grades and all that stuff. Because they like to do a whole reveal on YouTube of, you know, okay, look, this is what I got. Okay, here, you know, and then they'll show the card and all that.
Mhm.
So it was very interesting to see things from my childhood that, you know, it's only like what, $15 a set, probably $10 a set, you know, like for cards like that. But if you happen to put in the time and get them graded, they could potentially be worth, from 40 cents to $500 is pretty friggin' good. You know what I mean? So I am learning a lot. It is very cool to be working at this job. I have not put back into the store. That means I've not been buying anything off the shelf. I've not, done anything like that. So I'm
That's
very good in not spending because Jason knows when I worked at the comic book shop, I was buying stuff off the shelf. We work at a toy store, so I was and buying cards. I think we were playing Versus at the time,
Yeah.
me and Jason. So I was buying a lot of. That was my first TCG. You know what I mean? Let's see. Inside Shop is saying I still have like 24 1997 Upper Deck packs unopened. And that was Tim Duncan's
Yeah.
rookie year right there. So also good to have Duncan's also correct Inside Shop.
Yeah.
Legend.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Legend. Underrated or a legend that doesn't really get talked about. The guy he has 5 rings. Does he have 5? Is it
Let me
5?
look it up real quick.
Wait, does he have 5?
Inside Shop would probably know. Is it 5? Is it 4?
Well, that sounds like a good amount.
Yes, a Precious Metal Gems card. Yes, and the Duncan rookies and the autos. Yes.
I'll tell you right now.
Oh no, I was saying Inside Shop. How many championships does Tim Duncan have? But Jason's gonna look it up right now.
I can find it. 5-time.
Yeah, he's 5, right?
Yeah, he's a 5-time. Just like Booker T, 5-time.
He's one of the greatest. Oh, and I fell into a wormhole of that too. I started looking at wrestling cards that were graded. That was insane too. So I could go and buy a pack of WCW cards. Hopefully pull a Sting rookie card or a stunning Steve Austin rookie card. You know what I mean? And get it graded. And, if a person is diehard enough to buy it, that'd be cool. Or even get these signed. You know how we like to go to wrestling shows. We like to meet the wrestlers and all that stuff too at some of these local shows. So yeah, it'd be kind of cool to, get some stuff signed and then get it graded. Correct. Inside Shop was saying that wrestling is hot right now. Topps box of WWE is at least $600 a box. Went as high as $1,500. So it's always good to go to your local Target. Remember when people were killing each other because of cards? They were like shooting each other in front of Target.
Oh, remember like last month, some person got shot by cops because they stole pizza and Pokemon cards.
I
don't mean to laugh. I don't mean to laugh.
Yeah. I mean, that's literally what happened. It was like 4 people went. I think 2 people were actually stealing stuff. The other 2 weren't actually involved. I don't remember, but 4 people went into a Target. They started stealing some stuff. They called the cops. The cops showed up. One of them tried to run. They shot him down, and basically they jacked Pokemon cards and pizza, like frozen pizza.
That's crazy.
Like that. So.
Inside Shop was saying these are not available at Target. These are hobby boxes. The ones available at Target, Walmart are the retail boxes. Gotcha. Yeah. I was gonna say, I almost got triggered, Ninja, when you were talking about that. Of when I was working at the old shop there in Santa Clara, some guy stole a binder of Yu-Gi-Oh cards from another player. Would not give it up. Would not give it up. Jason was there with me. I was running this stupid tournament. These Yu-Gi-Oh kids. And then all of a sudden...
And
grown men stealing binders from each other to where somebody called the police. And 2 of Santa Clara's most finest police officers, 2 attractive-looking Latina officers come up and say, "What's the problem here?" I was like, "This guy stole another guy's Pokemon cards or fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards." Accusing.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
And she was like, you know what I mean? She's like, hold on 1 second. And then she goes and talks to her partner and she tells her, and then the other one just starts laughing. was
It's
like,
like
you
the
guys are
funniest thing.
embarrassing, dude.
Yeah, and then until you find out that they're worth how much money?
And what's even more funny is from what I remember is the guy that was accusing the other person of stealing. These are like, I think these were like high school and college kids pretty much too. So one's accusing another, stole his whatever $500 worth of cards or whatever it's missing, like in a either binder or tin, whatever. And then the guy that was accusing considered himself a cop, but he was top flight securities.
Oh shit!
That's what
So-
made it
so
worse. That's what made
then
it
a cop.
worse. That's what made it so much worse. Was just it was hella funny. Of like, you're a cop, and then when the real cop showed up, he's all, I'm security.
Nice,
Come on, man.
nice.
Didn't they ask him for his badge number at one point? Ron? I don't remember.
I don't remember that.
That show's hilarious. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but it's just a hilarious.
And sometimes I laugh because these are the people we truly represent. We
Yeah.
represent these folks.
We do.
This is why we do this freaking show for almost 10-something years now. We're nerds,
Just
We
don't
get it,
lie about it.
right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it does make me mad. It makes me mad sometimes because of that famous scene in Mallrats where Stan Lee is doing a signing and he goes, just because a guy collects comics, he can't start some shit, right? That's what
Yeah.
Jason Lee says.
Yeah.
Or Brody. That's what Brody says. But I'm just saying, Ninja and Jay, if it gets to a point where we're fighting
Yeah.
because of comics, it's like, that's when
Yeah.
I'm like, shit. You know what I mean? I'm like,
It's like
damn
we
it.
crossed the line.
You know what I mean?
Because it's so trivial. Yeah, it's so trivial and so not. It doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Fighting over something like this is kind of ridiculous. But at the same time, if you paid money, like good money for this kind of stuff, and someone jacked it, yeah, no, I get it. It's the same as if someone stole like my cell phone, right? And Ron, you know how angry that can be, angering that can be.
I'm still
Or-
angry.
I agree, and I get it, But for some people, this is that for them, These comic cards. Hell, if someone stole fucking, like I used to hang with a lot of people who used to play Warhammer. If someone stole their Warhammer collection, oh my god, because those can get up into the thousands.
Yeah.
These little figurines that they fucking sat down and painted, because some of those figurines, some of the bigger ones can go up to about $500.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous. So yeah, these are not cheap hobbies.
Shout out to Inside Shop, who's been rocking with us this entire time. You said his last comment here was saying more scams now with box breakers. These guys that are doing these unboxings online, or these guys that just potentially just buy for that. When you were talking about the Warhammer stuff, actually, I fell into a wormhole just because of the nerdy stuff.
Mhm.
There was this one thing I did see, Ninja, where this is crazy, Jay. These guys have been playing the same game of Dungeons and Dragons for like 40 years. You know what I mean? So I think this guy started when he was 7, and it's still going on. Of course, he had to bend the rules a little bit to where he's able to play. But it's about 10, 15 minutes where this guy talks about how, people want to play and they have to, come over, and it's this whole production. He's completely committed his life, even though he does have a wife and kids and all that stuff. But, this thing is ongoing for the last 40 years. So when people talk about collectibles, you were talking about Warhammer right now, stuff that I don't really know about, kind of know about, of course, you know what I mean? But yeah, you're right. When people put that much emotional value,
Time and effort.
For me, I still have emotional value to certain things, but I also think about And this is how I used to collect back in the day was, well, how much gas did I spend trying to get this item too?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Especially if I'm going to go and resell it. I got lucky also last couple of days, got some Hot Wheels, you know what I mean? So, I've been, we all hustle. We all resell. If you happen to be in that culture of reselling, whether it's even just Facebook Marketplace or whatever it is, this is what we do to make a buck. You know what I mean? Repurpose also. That's another good thing. Repurposing things. I know a friend from back in the day where they got their own tags made, like clothes tags. They got their own tags made. So they would find certain pieces, take the tags off, and just put their tags on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Repurpose. It's already nice, great stuff. Why not put our own tags on it? Just flipping it. Shout out to Gabby the Greatest. Shout out to Inside Shop. Shout out to everybody out there. If you happen to be watching us on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, thank you guys. We're on Kumu, though. We're on Kumu, so make sure you come on Kumu and follow us here. Follow Ninja Iceberg, Jay Jericho, and myself, Ron, Sarah. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Friday night or Saturday if you guys happen to be in the Philippines right now. Shout out to Gabby.
Or on the East Coast.
Yep. I was going to say Gabby's out there in New York. You know what I mean? She's watching us hella late, right? It's like, what, 3-hour difference out there?
Yeah, it's like
it's like 2 a.m.
Yeah. Inside Shop is saying Saturday afternoon out there in the Philippines. So shout out to him. So yeah. Was there anything in the news, guys? Anything that you guys wanted to talk about?
Oh, did you guys watch it yet?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
DS2? No.
Doctor Stranger. That's what I like to call it.
Yeah, not yet. I'm gonna wait until it dies down a little bit before heading to the theaters.
I actually went in with no expectation because I didn't watch no trailer.
Yeah.
The only trailer that I saw was the after credits on No Way Home. So that's the last thing I saw. So I try to block myself out. For me, I really liked it. I know Job saw it and he still had it. He was like on the 50-50 side still. So I liked it. There's like all I can say there's like a lot of oh shit moments and a lot of Sam Raimi.
Yeah, I heard it had like a lot of horror elements to it.
Yeah. It was I got caught.
Like people got scared, like literally scared. Yeah. Pushing the bounds of PG-13 or something is what people have been saying.
I got caught, like, because I was like, because I was just like watching the entire screen, just trying to find something, and I got caught.
Yeah. He jumped.
Joe was next to me, and she felt me jump. I was like, damn it. Well, yeah, it's like damn, God damn it, damn you, Sam, and damn you. But yeah, it's like I really liked it. So people have their own opinion and biases about the movie. So
yeah,
don't take anything for granted. Watch it for yourself to see whether you like it or not. So I might have to go watch it again just to see if I missed anything.
Gabby is saying me and my daughter have tickets tomorrow to see it in.
Okay. No, I'm not going to count. I'm not going to count. Oh, she said.
Hi guys.
So said,
Hi, Joe. How are you? We hope you're doing well. Yeah, they're gonna see it in 3D, is what Gabby is saying. I would love to see that while on shrooms.
Yeah,
you'd be tripping.
Yeah,
sure. That would be badass. I would love to do that, but unfortunately, I don't own a movie theater. I'm not going outside doing shrooms and all that. I was gonna say, Ninja, there's this one thing I think you said during the last Marvel movie or something like that, and I kind of maybe took it for myself too. You're like, this is the last movie I'm gonna see out in public. because I think COVID was still kind of, I mean, it's still out there.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
shit is
it's
still out there.
it's still out there. I did say that Doctor Strange was well, no, it was Spider-Man,
Spider-Man,
right?
yes.
Because I think the surge was because mask mandate was still going on,
Yeah.
but now that mask mandate is gone and there's a little bit of a surge in the Bay Area. Yeah, I'm probably gonna wait. Like I'll go watch it, but I'll probably wait a little bit.
Yeah, wait it out.
For there to be less people before I go watch it.
Yeah, wait it out.
But yeah, that's why I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, that's the only movie that I do want to see, but I might be able to hold off on seeing
you
it.
can the way they have a lot of showtimes, you can wait it out for a good 3 weeks or a month for it to die down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, dude, there was one theater that had 60 showings in one day, and I was like, "Holy shit, dude!"
That's crazy.
That
Yeah.
theater was super committed then.
I'm guessing in 2 or 3 weeks it's gonna drop down to like nobody, and it'll be fine. Yeah, in about 2 or 3 weeks.
Inside Shop is saying Disney Plus should just have a premium release on that. Yeah, they should have tried to get as much as they could out of this. Right?
They should have, but what happened is after the whole Black Widow thing, because of the way their contracts are structured, they can't really do any kind of simulcast or simultaneous release kind of thing because of the way their contracts are structured. So there's no way for them to really. I mean,
they want to earn the most maximum that they can,
right? Exactly.
while having it in the box office.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think what's her name kind of got ripped off on that whole deal. I think she got, even though she did recover some money,
she recovered almost all of it.
Money. Yeah,
like 80%. I think she was going to get like 50 million, but then they paid her 40 million or some crap like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, she got the money, which is fine. I have no problems with that. It was just that the contract, the way it was written, and and she totally got fucked over for that because she was going to get a good amount of money from it releasing in theaters, and then when they decided to go to D+, yeah, that wasn't. Yeah, she's rich. That's true, but at the same time, this is her job. This is her livelihood. And she does something to get paid, and she didn't get paid. So yeah, I'd be angry too. So
Disney been kind of slipping lately too. They could have made so much money off Turning Red, right? If they put that in the theaters, right?
They really should have. Yeah.
Could have made a whole.
I don't know. So.
By the way, did you guys see the trailer to Buzz Lightyear?
The new one? Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm excited for that one. That one looks so good. It looks.
Are you guys kind of excited? You guys are excited for that?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they showed the trailer during. The trailer was in our DS2, and I was like, man, yeah, I really need to watch this. It's super.
Is that Chris Pratt?
It's Chris Evans. It's Captain America.
Oh, it's Chris Evans.
Yeah.
No way. Holy shit. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this because it didn't look how do you say it? I mean, Toy Story's for kids, right? Toy Story's for kids.
Sure. Yeah.
This looked like a real sci-fi animated.
Yeah. That's the point.
It looks so badass. It looks so badass.
Yeah, that's the point. This movie is supposed to be the movie that the toys are based off of. So if Toy Story was your Star Wars toys coming to life, Star Wars is the movie that toy is based off of. So that's the point of this movie.
Meta Disney, right?
Man, if they do Lightyear,
very meta.
They do Buzz like this, I wonder what they would do for Woody.
Yeah, like what would a Woody movie look like? Yeah,
it'd be pretty.
That would have to be badass. That would probably be one of the greatest westerns ever.
Probably not. If you think about it, right? Because look at the toy itself, right? It's like a classic, like a 1950s kind of like floppy toy. It's not like an action figure. It's almost like an actual doll. so it's
Yeah.
probably based off an older movie. I would think it's more like a Will Rogers, kind of like
Mm.
kind of like the singing cowboy kind
Yeah.
of like,
Oh, like
or
early
not,
Ronald
yeah,
Reagan.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not, I don't even think it would be based off of like a
All right, inside.
like a what's his name? Shoot, John Wayne. Like it's not even based off a John Wayne type movie. I'm thinking it's based off of like a musical western of some type. That kind of thing. Like a not a Will Rogers, like a Rogers, Roy
Roy?
Rogers.
One of those white cowboy dudes.
Yeah, one of those.
That's wrong to say. I'm sorry. To all my white cowboys out there. Shout out to all my white cowboys out there. This is a Hub 408. Ninja Iceberg in the house. Jay Jericho, me, Ron, Sarah. Thank you guys for joining us on this Friday night.
Yeah, Roy Rogers, one of those guys. And
Ninja,
I think
did I was gonna say, did your parents watch just a long shot? Were they watching westerns back in the day?
not really, no.
Sometimes I would
Gene
catch my
Autry,
grandma.
sorry. Gene
Sometimes I would
Autry.
Sometimes I would catch my grandma. I caught a bullet. Remember that? I was thinking about Jackie Chan. I caught a bullet.
Stupid.
I catch a. I was hot buttery popcorn is in the house. I love that screen name, by the way. Hot buttery popcorn. Who doesn't like that?
Yeah. My parents weren't really that big in terms of movie watching or anything like that. Not really.
No, I would always wonder why I was like, why are my grandparents watching westerns for? You know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah.
it's not their life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not knowing that also the Philippines, they had their own genre of like western movies. You know what I mean? Where in the 70s, maybe early 80s, 60s, whatever, they would have their own genre of cowboy films too. So I'm like, this is why they watch Clint Eastwood. This is why me and Jay's Nana loves Clint Eastwood, because she was watching this guy, ever since he had a no name or whatever, the man with no name, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I think as I got older, I started appreciating a Western, like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a lot like growing up as an 80s kid watching. Hello?
What happened? Hello? Oh,
I don't.
he muted himself.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was gonna say, yeah, growing up an '80s kid, watching westerns and samurai movies was probably not the best thing for a kid, for me, anyways, because it's very slow. A lot of these movies, right? A lot of these movies are very slow. They're very drawn out. They're very quiet. Because there's a lot of like loneliness when cowboys are out on the trail or samurais walking down the like whatever, and yeah, I definitely didn't appreciate a good samurai movie or a good cowboy movie until much later in life. Like when you sit down to watch like a Kurosawa movie, it's like, oh, I'm going to dedicate 3.5 hours of my life to watching this. I'm ready for it. Whereas an 8-year-old me would have been like, hell no, am I going to sit here and watch a 3.5 hour movie? Now I just sit. Now I just watch a Batman movie, the R. Pat's Batman movie, like it's nothing. Oh, 3 hours, cool. I'm going to do it right now. So.
I actually remember how I think one of my takes on the whole Batman thing was like, oh, this is something I'd have to watch in full and all that stuff. I was able to watch it in parts though. I did that recently where I just wanted to see certain parts.
Yeah.
And it works. You know what I mean? But yeah, going back to what you said, I think I think when we were younger, There's no way we're sitting through a black and white movie, first of all, especially in subtitles. Um, but I think now I'm able to. I'm more willing to, especially if like I'm a lazy guy. I'll go and do the dub stuff, even though a lot of purists are like, hey, you're not getting the real translation if you're not reading it. It's more true, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it happens to be that, then that's fine. You know what I mean? I'd rather not. I'd rather not. I'm lazy. Give me the dubbed version. But nowadays, I'll easily watch it. For example, I don't know if Transformers the movie, and I'm talking about the one from 86, 87, or whatever. I don't know if that's a good movie or not. I always kind of go back and forth of, hey, is this a good movie? There's some parts of it's kind of corny, but there's some parts it's violently cool too, right? So I throw it on for Damien. And he's literally just watching this. He's just, mind you, he's not even 6 months old, but he's literally like, he watches Yo Gabba Gabba. And when he watches Yo Gabba Gabba, he's dancing, he's moving around, all this stuff. But when he was watching Transformers, completely still, but zoned in, totally watching. And I'm like, I wonder if you could understand this. Didn't cry at the part when Prime died, but I think when Ultra Magnus was fighting Galvatron and he got beat up, like he cried. I was like, yo, chill out. Just calm down. This isn't real. These are robots. You don't have to get all upset. You know what I mean? So what was once I thought a long movie, it's not too long. But we breezed through that fast. So there's certain things that you just breeze through, thinking it would be long. This is a long, but it's not. So thank you guys for joining us. Again, this is a Hub 408. Ninja Iceberg, Jay Jericho. What up, Chi? How are you? Happy Friday to you guys out there. She's saying hi. How are you? So yeah, anything else on your guys' mind as far as pop culture? I know there's been a lot of things going on in pop culture.
I mean, we could talk about Moon Knight. We haven't done that.
Oh,
or did you guys do that?
That
already?
was.
It was very interesting.
I did not. Even at the end, okay, I don't know what happened at the end. Still trying to figure it out. I think he's in our time now. This continuity that we're in, I don't know. That's what I got from it. I like how you had a third personality kind of out there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, spoilers. Spoiler alert at all times. Enter at your own risk if you haven't watched Moon Knight already.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And if you have watched Moon Knight and forgot that there was an end credit scene, go back and watch that. Actually, one of my buddies did that. did not realize there was an end credit scene, and when I started talking about Jake Lockley, he was like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Dude, did you not watch the after credits sequence?" And he's like, "No." Like, it's a Marvel show. They always have an end credits thing. You should always watch one of them. You should always watch it. So yeah, I actually had a buddy who did not realize that there's an end credits that shows you the third personality and what happens at the end of Moon Knight with Harrow and Khonshu and Mark Spector. So, but yeah, I just want to say Scarlet Scarab, Layla. Awesome, super awesome. I mean, yeah, it was very much kind of like Falcon, because she had the wings and she kind of like does a little bit of gliding here and there. She doesn't have like a rocket pack like Falcon does, but she has two swords and wings that she uses to fight. Very fucking cool, very fucking awesome.
Why can't we make a Silverhawks movie?
Yeah,
could
no.
do it.
After watching that,
It's
yeah,
like, why can't they?
yeah, they really should. They really should make a Silverhawks movie. After
It'd be
seeing,
awesome.
Falcon, and after seeing Scarlet Scarab with the wings and how they incorporate all that, they probably could. They really should.
Badass.
But yeah, I was honestly like very like, oh my god, she's so cool with her costume and all that. But at the same time, I was also kind of like, I I kind of wanted her to have more of a hippo theme for her costume because it's like, you know, because she's supposed to be the avatar of Taweret, Taweret, and she's a hippo goddess, and she didn't have any kind of hippo costuming, so I was just like,
Should have gave her the ears. That'd have been hella funny.
something, yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it in general. I thought it was a very interesting show. Very like, you know, we know Moon Knight in the books have some kind of split personality kind of thing going on, and they really leaned into that in this show, and I thought it was really cool. Definitely felt like Legion, the FX show, for a lot of it, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I just thought it was fun. It doesn't have to be anything big. It doesn't have to be anything wild or crazy. It's just a fun show, and yeah, I appreciate that. I don't know where they're going to go from here. It seems like they can honestly bring them back and do some more stuff, but who knows? Maybe they'll do like a Midnight Suns kind of thing. You know, some people are like, oh, you know, West Coast Avengers or West Coast Defenders or, you know, yada yada yada, and it's like, yeah, you can definitely join a bunch of teams. They're going to be introducing Blade pretty soon. You've got Black Knight showing up in Eternals, you know, so they might be going into a more supernatural kind of thing. Who knows? Who knows? I'm excited for all that.
I just found out actually. I did not know this. I didn't know if it was listed anywhere, but I think this is late 70s, but the comic Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, is where Moon Knight first showed up.
Right.
Yeah.
I believe that's getting its own show also on Disney Plus.
Is it? I haven't seen anything
Yeah.
about it, but if they are,
Hey,
then
Theory.
yeah, you can
How are you?
definitely bring. You can definitely bring Moon Knight into it if you're gonna decide to do something like that. I mean, that'd be kind of interesting. But yeah,
I think a lot of people were giving the show flack though, because it had no connection
to the greater MCU.
to the greater
Which-
MCU. But I'm like, this guy's so in his mind.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we have
Dude,
time.
The comics
For that.
don't. The comics, from what I know, don't really have anything to like. Like, how often did I read the X-Men or Spider-Man or Avengers and Moon Knight shows up? Never. Moon Knight never shows up in any of the huge crossovers. Okay, he's an afterthought. Let's be real here. If you're mad that he didn't cross paths with, you know, like some random MCU guy that, you know, was Shang-Chi or Steve Rogers or, you know, whatever the fuck. The dude is a C-lister, okay? Moon Knight has never been
An
a
A-list
popular
guy,
character. Yeah, he's never been a popular
Until
character.
now.
Until exactly
now.
this moment. Yeah.
It's crazy. All of a sudden his
Actually-
shit started going up.
Actually, probably a few years ago, it probably started going up because Jeff Lemire was his writer for a little bit. Like Jeff Lemire is one of my favorite writers. Anything he touches is gold, I feel. So that's probably when it started going up. Probably the same, you know, probably the same thing that happened with Hawkeye and Matt Fraction doing the Hawkeye run.
Mhm.
Probably the same thing happened with Moon Knight and why it's starting to go up. But obviously, getting their own show, they're gonna be super popular now. People are gonna start looking at it. They're gonna start reading his books and all that stuff. So yeah, for sure.
I held just the other day. I held a Moon Knight #1 in my hand,
Yeah.
not
Mhm.
graded,
Yeah.
very mint, and I was just like, "Holy shit, this is awesome!" To hold
Mhm.
iconic books, it's
Yeah.
just like you kind of get that rush, like, "Oh, dude,
Mhm.
this is kind of cool." You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But his first appearance was Werewolf by Night.
Yes, yes. Which again, we're talking about is getting a show. All these things that we thought would never. I would have never thought we'd have a Moon Knight show.
No,
You know,
no, not at all. Yeah.
so all of a sudden, we get that. It's incredible what Marvel can do. I believe we're getting. Somebody came in the store the other day talking about the bad movies like Morbius. How a lot of people
Yeah.
were giving it flack. I've also heard a lot of people say it was all right.
Yeah.
You know, and they were talking about why give a chance to these characters that don't maybe necessarily mean nothing, but they do to some fans. Like we're
Mhm.
getting a Craven movie, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Which I'm excited for. But we're also getting a Madam Web movie too,
Hmm.
right?
Or
Which
she's showing up somewhere. Yeah.
yes, which is
Which is
or she
weird.
has a show. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very weird for certain things to get that shine.
Yeah.
I believe Bad Bunny just secured something, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Bad Bunny,
He's gonna be this
El
past
Muerte or
year.
something like that,
El
right?
Morte. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
Who is a luchador type villain of the
Yeah.
Spider-Man,
Hmm.
who I don't even know of. You know what I mean? And I'm a
Yeah.
wrestling guy. I would probably love a character like this and be excited.
Hmm.
So there are just so many things that's happening that it's kind of crazy to see the main guys take that back seat until the X-Men come. Because
Yeah.
I bet when the X-Men
Whenever that
come,
happens.
right?
Mhm.
If that
Yeah.
happens too, I don't know. I'm just saying when that
I'm sure it
happens,
will. I'm sure it will.
there'll be the
It,
second
it, it
resurgence. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Of big
It has
names
to.
being out there.
Yeah. Same thing with Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four is definitely coming. I mean, they've already kind of announced it, right? Like during the whole like a year or two ago when they were talking about upcoming movies, they for Phase Four, anyways. I mean, maybe it was just Phase Four, and that's why they used the four that kind of looked like Fantastic Four. But I mean, it's got to be coming, right? There's no reason to not use their full stable of characters at this point in time. You've put out movies with Shang-Chi and you put out a show with Moon Knight, two of the most obscure Marvel characters. Hawkeye, arguably just as obscure, but because he was in the MCU movies, he's definitely got a higher profile. But before that, dude, Hawkeye was like, again, C tier. She-Hulk, C tier. Well, maybe not C tier, but definitely not an A-lister, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's getting a show. Ms. Marvel got a lot of shine because she was one of the first Muslim, superheroes, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
unabashedly Muslim, uh, and just enjoying herself, by being a superhero. So, um, but yeah, all these different characters are getting a show, and it's yeah, it's. I'm excited. I'm just excited. I'm just excited for all this stuff. I know some people are like burnt out and all that kind of stuff, but dude, 15, 13-year-old me would have killed for all of these shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would dream about watching what these shows on TV or in a movie or whatever. And the more the merrier, I'd say. Like people get burnt out, that's fine. I don't give a shit. I will just keep watching it because this is what I'm into. I'm literally into this
I got a question
comic
for
book
both of you
shit.
guys. Who's a future character that could possibly show up or is probably? I mean, but who's a future character that you are hoping they do justice or get it right? Who's somebody that you're excited to see? Jay, how about you? Who's somebody that if they do this character, you're excited for?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, while you guys think, real quick, I'll throw one out there. For me, I just, if we get this character, but if we get a Cyclops, I hope they do Cyclops justice and they show him like as good as Captain America. You know what I mean? Like in that type of regard. I don't know who they would cast, but that's so.
I don't either.
Yeah, Jay. You know, what about you?
Man, this is tough. Come back to me. I gotta think about this.
What about you, Ninja? Who's a character that, or maybe casted already, and you just hope it works out good?
Yeah, there's a lot of obscure Marvel characters that I would love to that are interesting and I kind of would see. But the one that pops up in my brain, and we might actually get to see this character is Wu Aoshi or Wu Aoshi. She's a pirate queen from like the 1500s, and she was also a former Iron Fist. I think in the Iron Fist show, she's supposed to be like Colleen Wing's mom, I think.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh,
Which is a completely different like story, right? But I want to see this character, the pirate queen from like, from China during the 1500s, who's based off of a real character. There was an actual like female pirate, Chinese pirate back in the day. And yeah, I would love to see more. I would love to see something like that, only because Iron Fist the show has been so disappointing, and I would love to see an Iron Fist something come back to. I want to see them come back to it in the and
Hey, wee woo.
do something about it, fix it basically. Reintroducing Iron Fist would be kind of tight too, but and speaking of like other Iron Fist, the previous Iron Fist before Danny Rand, Orson Randall, I think he was also in the show. But that guy was actually really cool, the one before Danny Rand. Again, this is all from the Matt Fraction, Ed Brubaker run. And I look, I love Iron Fist. I think Iron Fist is super cool. I just think the show is so bad that I want them to revisit it and just do good by it. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird talking about that. I kind of want to see a Silver Surfer TV show. If they could bring back Silver Surfer and have it be the what's it called, the Dan Slott run, I think, where it's basically him and this girl, and they basically travel around the universe. It's kind of like Doctor Who. I would be so psyched for something like that. I think Silver Surfer needs to come back, and I think that needs to have that run, because that's one of the best runs I've ever read of Silver Surfer. It's one of the funnest and most sad runs I've read. I mean, Silver Surfer has always been kind of a tragic character. His home planet.
Yeah, I was going to say
destroyed and all that kind of stuff.
He's always had those themes of sadness and loneliness,
tragedy, and stuff like that, right? But and loneliness, exactly. But then in this run, he has a companion. The two of them travel through the universe, and because she's like a normal human being, she's just so like amazed by the universe that Silver Surfer shows her, and her enthusiasm to seeing all these new sights and sounds and wonders kind of rub off on him, kind of like it's kind of like what's his name, Dr. Manhattan. You know, you got this guy who's completely like separated from his humanity, just learning how to become a human again. It's like if Silk Spectre and an enthusiastic and bubbly Silk Spectre and Dr. Manhattan travel the universe. It's kind of like that. It's got that kind of thing where Silver Surfer kind of sees the universe in a new light, through the lens of a person experiencing these things for the first time. And I think and that honestly is probably one of my favorite Silver Surfer stories. And they should definitely make that a a TV show or a movie. I think.
Isn't he arguably the strongest Marvel character? Anyone can be strong. I'm just saying they've always kind of portrayed him too as like, dude, this guy's a cosmic being, like almost like of Superman.
He
status,
is.
right?
Yeah, he's definitely up there. He's definitely in that realm. I mean, can Galactus take him out? Sure, of course. Galactus created him. And there's definitely stronger beings out there. You've got your living tribunals. You got your eternities. The actual ridiculous cosmic beings that Marvel puts out there and it's just super weird. Like if Marvel actually decides to put their actual cosmic shit out there, you thought Eternals was weird.
Yeah.
They get weirder.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely one of the
yeah. That's a good choice. Silver Surfer is somebody I would like to see on my screen again. That actually would be kind of badass. I was gonna say, do you have anyone that you would fan cast as Silver Surfer? Who would you fan cast?
No fan casting for me. I'm I don't know if I want to. Yeah, I'm done with that. I just want to see what Marvel does. It could be. It honestly could be anybody. It doesn't even have to be a white guy. That's the nice thing about it. It could be anybody, right? Because you're just a big silver dude.
I think he was. I think that was Lawrence Fishburne was the last one, right? He played
The Voice.
Oh, The Voice.
The Voice, because I think it was Doug Jones who did the movement and stuff like that.
Yes. Okay. Jason, what about you? Did you think of a character that you want to see done properly?
Because you know how you were talking about Cyclops, right? And I was like, of course, I want to see Cyclops done right. Finally, hopefully. But if we're talking about Cyclops, I actually want to see a Mr. Sinister.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would love that too.
That'd be great. Or if they get really into depth on the X-Men side, the Savage Land, is it Sauron?
Yes.
Yeah. I want to see how they would try to do that.
And Kazar and Shauna. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Savage Lands is just weird. It's just weird.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to.
What's the name of that red dinosaur, too?
Right? Oh, that one's different. That one's that's from a different book. Devil Dinosaur, I think is what it is.
Devil Dinosaur. Okay, I'm getting my prehistoric shit mixed up.
Yeah.
But those are great picks though, right there. Especially that Sauron. I think that's a great pick. I was trying to think of other ones that kind of either excited to see or want to see. I know we have somebody like Blade coming up. I'm excited for to see that particular take on Blade. But now if you're thinking about the multiverse, right, and how things can open up and all that stuff, I wouldn't mind seeing old people old. You know what I mean? It's funny. Wesley was talking about, hey, I'm ready. He was, when they were talking about Blade, he was like, hey, I'm ready. Maybe he might have said it jokingly. Mm-hmm. But you know what? You could probably work that out somehow, just with the possibilities and all that stuff.
An older Blade or something like that.
Yeah. But I do love the fact that, there's guys that we're excited to see. Like, who knows if they'll bring back certain guys to to do
Yeah.
things, correctly, or they might choose somebody else.
Mhm.
Like for example, I've liked both versions of Magneto. The
Yeah.
Sir Ian Kellen was great, and also
Michael Fassbender.
yeah, Fassbender's Magneto was amazing too. But
Mhm.
if they were to do that also, I'd be kind of excited for that. Like, oh shit, this is a brand
Yeah.
new Magneto right here. And I don't know if they could find somebody that could almost make him look like, the Jim Lee Magneto is just so badass. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? That version of his Magneto is just so badass. So to see almost a muscular looking
Yeah.
older leader type, you know what I mean? Like it would be
And
kind of badass.
like a legit Brotherhood of Mutants.
Yeah, that would be
Um.
so cool.
Oh, and like if we're talking about mutants again, like Strife, bring a Strife back,
Oh,
bring a Strife. But then you'd have Cable, you have Strife, and you have that whole thing going on. That'd be kind of cool. Oh,
for
when
like
you talked about
for like two
uh,
seconds, you see like GW Bridge, like
yeah,
just walk walk on
yeah,
screen. So
the six pack or whatever they're
yeah, the
called.
6 pack. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude. So ridiculous. But yeah, when you brought up the red dinosaur, it did remind me of the book that uh, book series that came out not too long ago, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Mm.
Uh, it's basically what happens is Moon Girl. She's this like young. She's like a first or second grader or something like that, but she's like a super genius, and she somehow comes across Devil Dinosaur, and they're basically running around New York doing superhero type stuff. She's like a gadget type person. Like she's like a smart. She's like Tony Stark. She's
Mm.
like a 10-year-old Tony Stark running around with a giant red Tyrannosaurus Rex, and that's the book. I think that'd be really fun. The book is really good. Um, and I think that'd be a great character. Again, so many characters.
Squirrel Girl, too, right?
Squirrel Girl. They were supposed to bring one up, but then it got canceled and it never came out. And now they're doing a podcast version of the show, I guess.
Damn,
Yeah,
Squirrel Girl. Oh man.
Squirrel Girl, dude. I want to see her adventures in computer programming.
dude, did Wolverine hit that?
No,
No,
Hugh
I could have
Jackman did.
swore. I could have swore I saw something where it was like I think Wolverine alluded to, or I don't know if maybe a quick hookup. I don't. I know I'm not joking. I mean, I wouldn't have said it if I didn't. That's nothing I would just put out there.
yeah, I don't think so. Mm. I mean, I know they hang out or they've hung out, but I don't think they've dated or anything like that in the books, from what I
Quickie,
remember, anyways. Yeah.
furry quickie, real quick.
I know Rai Williams is getting her own show. That's Armor Wars. Whenever that starts up, I think.
I can't.
Unstoppable Wasp is another good one that I would love to see. She's actually a secret daughter that Hank Pym had with his previous wife. In the books,
Oh
Hank Pym
wow,
had a wife before with Janet Van Dyne,
did not know that.
and they had a kid, and and she was like a Russian person. So he left them behind in like Russia or some crap like that. The girl grew up in the Red Room, or
Oh,
Red Room adjacent, because she didn't grow up to be an assassin. She grew up to be like a scientist kind of thing. And so, but she escapes and defects to America and basically becomes like um, a Wasp character. Janet Van Dyne basically uh, adopts her as like a daughter, and basically mentors her to becoming the new Wasp, and then she basically becomes like a mentor for other people to be, like Tony Stark's. Like she puts together a group of girls who are really really smart and want to do good things and basically invent stuff. So she basically that's her storyline, and I thought that was an amazing run of books. It was really short. It was like 12 issues, I think, but it was really really good. I would love to see a show about that. Just a lot of random stuff out there.
I would love to see New Mutants redone and maybe in a series format. Where
Well, that was what Squirrel Girls was supposed to be. It was supposed to be her and like New Mutants, I think.
Oh man, that would have been badass. But no, I was thinking of the original.
Yeah, Speedball, Namorita.
Yeah, I was thinking about the original New Mutants and just how iconic they were in those black and yellow.
You're talking about New Mutants. What was I talking about? New Warriors.
You're talking about New Warriors. Yeah, that's who you're talking about.
Yeah. That's who I was talking about. That was supposed to be the Squirrel Girl show. You're talking about like Cable and Boom Boom and.
No, I'm talking about the OG. Yeah, the OG guys.
Cannonball and all that.
Richter, Cypher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen that. But
actual New Mutants, not like the New Mutants in the movie, right? Not the one that came out recently.
No. Although I haven't seen it. Although they did base it off a very famous New Mutant story. I just don't know how that would translate to people wanting to watch something like that. But I was going to say New Warriors would be kind of cool, actually, right? And
yeah, that one would be weird. That one would be super weird. Like I said, with Speedball, Namorita, and all those guys. Yeah, that one would make zero
Night
sense.
Thrasher,
I think that'd be
right?
fun.
Is he in there?
Right? Yeah, Night Thrasher. Yeah, that one would be weird.
I think he was a standout of the group, right? Although he wasn't really a big character, I guess.
Oh, he was definitely not an A-lister. He was definitely like a weird C-lister. Like he didn't really have any powers. I think he had like some kind of like shadow power or something. It wasn't that interesting from what I remember. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been trying to kind of keep up with what's going on in books right now. There's a lot going on. It's just way too much. So I'm kind of just picking and choosing what I'm getting into or what I'm looking at. I've been kind of keeping up with the X-Men stuff on they all live on Krakoa, correct?
Yeah.
And they've
I'm working through Power of X right now, I think. Whatever that's called.
Yeah, I want to reread that whole something X, right? Power of X or whatever that whole thing, right? It supposedly changes
everything,
right? It changes everything. So
House of X, Power of X, and then you have like House of Swords and all that. And I'm just like, I don't. There's just the X-Men right now are just such an odd spot, and you have to. There's so much stuff to get through and read through, and I'm just kind of like, it's daunting,
Yeah, it is.
Trying to get through all of that. It's a little intimidating.
But also very exciting. I was going to say I actually picked up a book today for super cheap. Because, again, I don't get to read comic books, so I go to one of my favorite YouTube channels, Comics Explained. You ever come across those guys, that guy's videos?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He has some really good stuff, right? Like he'll touch old stuff, he'll touch new stuff. So sometimes I, kind of like a podcast. If it happens to be a long episode, like an hour and 45 minutes of him like going through an entire saga, I'm like, okay, I'll get to catch up this way.
Yeah.
So he's very good, and I think the last thing I watched was the conclusion about the three Jokers on the DC Comics side of things.
Mm.
They had gone through a story about who's a real Joker, why are there three Jokers, and all this stuff. And it excited me to see that type of storytelling. Also, you get to think why Batman is who he is. Why is he still the same guy after all these years? All that type of stuff. I came across though a special edition, Killing Joke, over here at my local Goodwill. It was only $2 for a hardcover $17-18 book. You know, I could probably flip it for $5, $10 if I wanted to. But I had the original first printing as a kid. I had the original first printing. They talked about it was recolored, redone. You know, Brian Boland did it, and also in reading in I think the forward or the afterword or whatever it is. They talked about though how Brian Boland, out of respect for, you know, this incredible writer, he didn't do another book since then. He only did covers. He only did covers. You know, so the last thing he did, you know, was this book from I think 88, 89 is when it came out. Maybe 90, I'm not sure. But to reread this, I felt like 10 years old again, you know, 11 years old whenever it came out. I felt like that again. But also to see it redone in the way I guess he wanted it done. Very cool. I know that the Killing Joke also was, out of all the things to turn into an animated film, I never thought I would ever see the Killing Joke, you know, put on screen. I mean, to me, that's the ultimate Batman movie. You know, like in a way, one of the ultimate Batman stories. Although it's not very Batman centered. You know, it's about Batman caring for two people, and you know, trying to save them. You know, it's basically, hey, I'm going to save these people. But it's more of a Joker story. So yeah, falling into a wormhole of, you know, comics explained, you know, put me into where I'm at right now, to where it's like, all right, let me relive this, because I believe now they're saying that the actual Killing Joke is the origin of the Joker. You know, I believe that's what's going on in current comics right now, which is crazy because back then it was considered, even though it's not, there was no thing as Elseworlds or anything back then. They kind of said this was separate from anything going on.
Yeah.
And even the ending of the book too, kind of an ambiguous ending. Even as a kid, I was like, hey, what happens at the end? What, you know, what's going on? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's kind of, it's very cool to see, again, a writer or a character that you've loved for many years. We're what, 30, 40, 40 years in, 40, almost 43, you know, next year. But I've lived with loving these characters so long that even though there's no real specific origin for certain guys like this, there was an origin, and we could speculate there is. You know what I mean? When you watch things like, say, Moon Knight, like I've known he's had split personalities, you know, from back in the day, but then when you actually show it and you get to see it, I think it's very interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shout out to Lilyland. I appreciate you. Shout out to Mikhail. Thank you guys. Welcome to Kumu. Kamusta? Sa lahat ng mga tao there. We're just talking about Marvel stuff, comic books and stuff like that. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and write it down below. If you happen to be on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, go ahead and write down your comments. We'll show it on the screen right now. But Yeah, that's a question right there. What Marvel character are you excited to see in the MCU? Any other ones, guys? Jay, maybe that you might have, want to
So,
see?
since from Far From Home, when they already showed uh, like Nick Fury in space, so they're like, yeah, cosmic
Mm,
space travel.
yeah.
I mean, and then hopefully whenever they bring in the X-Men and the Mutant Universe in, I really want to see the Shi'ar Empire, see how that goes out,
Oh, that'd be cool.
and and do the Phoenix Saga the correct way, instead of just she just gets powers and shit. It was like so annoying.
To be fair, to be honest, I
Yeah,
feel like they should never touch Phoenix Saga ever again.
yeah, no, completely.
I
It's
honestly feel like there's no real good way to fit it in nowadays because we've seen so many iterations of it already that it's kind of like Batman's origin story.
yeah,
We don't really need to see it over and over and over again every single time they decide to make a new iteration of Batman.
and what's
I
even more
I feel like that's the same thing with Phoenix Saga.
yeah, and what's even crazy is my favorite version of it. If you're supposed to do it like like on either TV or in cinema, is a
Mhm.
'90s cartoon, and that's
Yeah, yeah.
that says a
No,
lot of stuff.
that is literally the best version,
Yeah,
the best adaptation. There's really no reason to follow in the footsteps of that storyline ever again, just because we've gotten basically two
yeah,
versions of it after, and they've both been kind of underwhelming. I feel like we
very,
don't really. I feel like we should not go through that ever
yeah,
again.
I was going to say, too, I'm actually excited for. They're continuing the X-Men animated series,
yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So whatever the last episode was, they're going to continue on from there. I'm
Mhm.
excited to see that because I'll try and watch some of the older episodes. Some of it I could watch. Some of it it's hard to watch too. There's a
Mhm.
lot of stuff that's kind of hard to watch, right? It's a little corny unless you like Wolverine, ranting and raving every like five. He's always, you know, he's that guy on the show, but it's fun. There's some stuff there that's super complex, and you're just like, wow, you got
Mhm.
to go through a bunch of episodes to actually get a story. You know how they would do the 4-part,
yeah,
Yeah.
series and all that stuff. So they have a lot of good stuff. So I'm actually excited for that. Um, you brought up a character earlier, Jason. You talked about Mr. Sinister and all that stuff. I'd like to see, yeah, I'd like to see, certain guys done, correctly. Certain guys done correctly. I would love to see, I think Ninja had talked about earlier having a real Hellfire Club. You
yeah,
know what I mean? To see Mastermind, how Jason Wingard, I believe that's his name, right? Mastermind.
Mhm.
He had a very famous story where he took was it Jean Grey or was that Madeline Pryor already? I forget.
Jean Grey.
It was Jean,
yeah,
Yeah, I think it was Jean. Yeah.
and kind of manipulated her, manipulated the X-Men.
Mhm.
Also, um, there's a famous scene. I believe it's drawn by John Byrne, where it's Wolverine in the sewers in his classic yellow and blue costume, taking down the Hellfire Club members and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what I'm. I I wish if they do a Wolverine, put him in a mask. That's one simple one for me. Put him in a mask.
Mhm.
You have everybody else in a mask. Put him in a mask. You know what I mean? I would love
Yeah.
to
yeah,
see how that would turn out. I was kind of who like Hawkeye. I would have loved to
Mhm.
have seen Jeremy Renner in a fucking full on Hawkeye
Ridiculous
costume.
Hawkeye mask. Yeah.
Yeah, he would have looked so fucking badass in my opinion. Because he has that look. He kind of has
yeah,
a chin. Kind of like U.S. Agent. We know
Mhm.
that's not Steve Rogers, but he still looks fucking badass. as
Mhm.
as U.S. agent. You know what I mean? That's why I'm just like, damn, they couldn't give Hawkeye
Not
his
even a
color.
good pair of shades.
Yeah,
Like
or
the
something.
ultimates version of him,
Yeah,
where he wears shades. Yeah.
yeah. You know, but I would want to see the classic. I mean, he was Ronin for God's sakes. He was dressed up as a
Yeah.
masked character. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
why not show Hawkeye and then I don't know, certain guys. I would love to see also. I know they played him. I think in Agents of Shield, but if they could somehow y- use him again, because I didn't know like this is a character I've talked about before that I really like, but they've used him in ways where it's like almost kind of like a troop builder, and that's a Deathlock.
Mm.
I would love to see a Deathlock on screen too. That'd be kind
Mhm.
of badass. Yeah.
It kind of sucks that
Uh,
that show got separated from the MCU.
yeah.
Did it really? Is it like completely separate or?
So
Like,
that's the thing. It's in a weird limbo. It's in
yeah,
a weird like kind of
Is that
is it
even
or
on D
isn't it?
Plus or no?
It is. It is.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
it got lost after the whole Civil War thing. Or no, after the Hydra and
Winter
Shield
Soldier
stuff.
thing.
Yeah, Winter Soldier stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just went on
Well,
a.
no. I mean, so it was so the fallout of Winter Soldier directly affected the
The
show.
show.
But
Yeah,
then after the second or third season, they kind of started to separate themselves a little bit from the actual MCU.
yeah,
I think after the second season, so starting the third season, because even the second season they had little bits of stuff show
still,
up from
yeah,
the movies. Yeah, because I think Thor: The Dark World stuff kind of showed up here and there.
yeah,
Sif shows up here and there. Um, so they really tried to make it a part of the MCU, but they could never really figure it out properly. And then when they kind of abandoned even trying to integrate it into the MCU and just
yeah.
started basically doing their own thing, that's when it started to become really, really good, I think. And
Yeah,
that's kind of
yeah,
why it's in this weird limbo of is it in the universe or not?
yeah. Because after all that Shield and Hydra stuff, I was like, oh man, this is getting hella crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
like some like on some life and death stuff. I was like, oh shit,
Mhm.
this is insane.
No,
You
it gets
think
really good.
you think Coulson should have been there when they all fought? Remember at the end of Infinity War when they all this started because of his
Yes.
death, right?
Yeah. Should he have been there? Yes, 100%. He should have. Yeah.
But at that point, his character was different,
Mm.
so to speak. I know because I know
Yes.
Ron, you weren't able to watch it, but
Yes. Yeah.
his
Wasn't he
character evolved
like
into
turned
something
into a
different.
fucking android, or you just it got really weird, right? Did something like that? Like they
It's
took him off.
like a lot of stuff happened. Like a lot of stuff happened to the
Mm.
point where I mean, should I say it, Ninja? Spoiler alert.
Yeah, go ahead.
Spoiler alerts. Spoiler alerts at all times.
So pretty much he's dead. Like
Yeah, and he's
finally,
is
legit.
he a LMD, a life model decoy. Is that what he is?
Yeah, and then they transferred all his likeness into a full-on android.
Mhm.
Just hella crazy.
So they took the aspects of what makes Nick Fury, right, with the life model decoys and all that stuff, and they kind of gave it to him then, right?
A little bit, but in this instance, he actually is dead. Like he dies in the middle of like one of the seasons,
Yeah, it's
and
like out
then
of nowhere.
and then he comes back. Yeah, I think it's because they thought they were going to get canceled, and then they didn't get canceled, so
Yeah.
he came back as an LMD. And he didn't know. He didn't know he was an LMD for a
Oh,
while.
he didn't know.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't know.
Oh,
They didn't
that's
tell
crazy.
him. It was hella crazy. Yeah,
Yeah. No, no, honestly, Agents of Shield is really, really good. That first season is just super uneven, you know. But the actual show, especially once they started to say fuck it to the MCU and we're just gonna do our own shit, it starts getting really, really good. It just takes off right there. But
I mean,
They could continue that on Disney Plus. I don't see why
they
not.
could.
Right?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, they definitely could.
it would go on a different path with different people, though, for sure. But
Probably.
they can still bring back, they can still bring
Shield.
back half of the cast because they're still active.
But is
According
Shield
to-
even active though? I don't even know if they're active, right?
I don't. They. I mean,
It's
Sword
Sword
is. So
now,
I feel
right?
like Shield.
Yeah.
I feel like Shield might still be around. One group I want to see them bring out, and they can definitely do that nowadays, especially with multiverse, is Exiles. I think that would be kind of funny watching a group of people
Lost, right? Or taken
just
plucked.
hopping through parallel universes doing shit. I think that'd be kind of fun. And then you get Dupe, the weirdest green booger slimer looking thing.
It became very popular in the 2000s, right? With
Well, yeah, because he's just this fucking green mutant thing, and it's like, what is this guy? What is this? What is? I don't know. It's just weird.
I remember at one point they were pairing him up to a like Deadpool, right?
Yeah.
You know who I'd like to see? The Marvel's Justice League. I would love to see Squadron Supreme. I think that would be kind of
The World War II Squadron Supreme.
No, I'm talking about the one with the Nighthawk and Hyperion and.
Oh, my boy Nighthawk. Or no, it's Dark.
Oh, you're thinking about Darkhawk. Oh, I'd love to see Darkhawk too as a miniseries, right? That'd be kind of cool. Street level guys. No, but I would love to see Squadron Supreme though. I think that'd be just learning about them, not learning about them, but anytime they're brought up, they get talked about of being, the Marvel ripoff of, the Justice League and all that stuff. So I know that they became really popular again. These last couple of years, they've gotten their own shine, in the books and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd love to see that. I don't know why I like characters that are ripped off of. I mean, everybody rips off everybody. You know what I mean? It's just I think this was so blatant back in the day, and I think maybe that's when. Remember how Marvel had a separate thing called Epic Comics or something like that?
Yeah,
I would always see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would always remember seeing the Squadron Supreme and Eternals like on an advertisement together, of like, who are these guys? You know what I'm saying? So that's what always intrigued me as a kid. But, getting to learn about them because of, I think it might have been Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the animated series, or the one after that. They had a couple stories in there with them. Really good show, too. That's actually a hub reco for me if you haven't seen any of that stuff. But yeah, I love to see those characters too. A lot of guys I'd love to see. I'd love to see them do Juggernaut, correctly, like a huge, massive, like as big as a Hulk type. I think they kind of got it with the was that Deadpool 2, right?
Yeah.
Was that Deadpool 2?
Mm.
It was pretty close.
They
That's
got
like the
it there.
best iteration of Colossus I've seen so far.
Oh, that too, right? Yeah. I think we might have talked about the subject before, but what's the Power Pack, right? That could very much be a Disney thing right there. Group of mutant kids, Trying to think of who else. Oh, if they did a 2099 series, that'd be and just throw everybody in there. instead of each singular guy, like have a Spider-Man 2099, the Punisher 2099, Iron Man one, Doctor Doom. Even though I hated that type of stuff back in the day, or I just never collected it. Although I probably would want to collect it now if I ever came across it. Yeah, I don't know who else I would want. But yeah, this is a Hub 408. Thank you guys for joining us. Again, my name is Ron Sara, Jay Jericho, Ninja Iceberg in the house. Hope you guys are doing well. Anything else you guys wanted to cover before we get up out of here? We have hit our 2-hour mark.
No.
All right. I was going to say thank you guys for joining us again. Episode 145, I think. Yeah. Shit. Any last words before we get up out of here, guys? Oh, where'd Jason go? There he goes.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I was going to say, any last words, Jay, for you before we get up out of here?
Recos, I guess.
Oh, recos, maybe? Got anything you want to reco? Besides Doctor Strange, I know we love to see
I'm not
Doctor Strange.
gonna.
I very much want to see it.
So I don't know. I was playing my Super Nintendo the other day, and then because I couldn't. I mean, of course, you could always find the emulator anywhere, but then of course the Nintendo cracked down. So, and I was playing my Super Nintendo the other day. I ended up playing UN Squadron again.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Crazy.
Did you ever watch the anime?
I did. It was like such a long time ago. I just don't remember.
It is so sad and tragic. As a kid watching that, it really scarred me for life.
Just like Optimus turning gray. Everybody's scarred for life. Well, yeah, I just like just playing it all over again, just trying to learn all the timing and stuff. It just it was pretty fun. I mean, it was hard at first because I kind of forgot how to play it, but yeah, I mean that was my thing. So if you ever have
it's a shooter, it's a shooter, right?
It's a side
scrolling shooter where you're flying airplanes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what's funny is you have to spend money.
Yeah.
For your special weapons, so destroying enemy aircraft in that game will earn you money. So if you've never played UN Squadron, whether it's on the arcade or on the console or an emulator, it's a fun game. If you ever have a chance to do that, I recommend that. I actually still have the original Super Nintendo cartridge. So,
I wonder how much that goes for.
I can tell you right now. Give me a second.
Yeah, I think the Japanese.
How are you?
I think the Japanese called Area 88. I think that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the reason why I say it's like tragic and kind of scarring is, the story is focused around. So the main character, he's like an airline pilot, and he's engaged to the airline CEO's daughter, right? He has a rival that basically wants to marry the girl, so he arranges for him to be kidnapped and sent to like this Middle Eastern country where he has to be basically a mercenary pilot. And there's 3 ways for him to leave and go back home. He has to earn enough money to buy his way out, walk out of the desert, but it's like hundreds of miles anywhere, any other city, or what was the last one? Oh, he dies. Those are the three ways he gets out. And the sinister thing is that for all the money that he earns, they make him pay back, or they make him buy fuel, they make him buy bullets, they make him buy missiles, and all that kind of stuff. So you're trying to save money, but because they're using you as a fighter pilot, you have,
You have to put in.
you have to spend that money. So
Right.
eventually what happens is at the end of the story, he earns enough money to go back. But because he's so changed by war and so broken by it that he has no idea how to live in society, so he goes back to fighting.
Oh wow.
It's like you never
so
leave.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucked up.
And that game, like legitimate, like when you're playing the game, like if you want a better plane, you gotta pay for it.
Yeah, pay for it.
There's like and then there's like the best plane in that game is like what me and my friends like to call the $1 Million Blackbird. It's a single pilot plane, but you have access to all weapons available, which is the beast. And my thing was, I always used the basic plane as far as I could take it, to the point where if I can't do it, then I'm gonna save up all that money and buy the $1 Million plane as fast as possible.
Right.
Like, so yeah, that's one of my recommendations. If you're able to ever play that game, UN Squadron. That's just
How much was the cartridge?
right now it could rate like a good used fundamental one that's actually working. It can range from $20 to $60,
Oh, all right.
depending on the condition of the cartridge. So it's not as bad as
Yeah.
people think. You can still buy one for like $20 and $30, between 20 and 30, as long as it's functional. You should be able to find it. You can find it online. So.
I like how, because of the pandemic, the things that we've collected, whether it's games, cards, comic books, they've kind of surged in price again. So if you happen to own these items, like before, you could always find a WWF No Mercy. And I think just recently it went up. So it's like a $30, $40 game again. And you can't even find it. And you used to always find this at the shops for like $5.99, $7.99 nowadays. Or back then, maybe 3-4 years ago. It's kind of cool how these games have kind of skyrocketed up again. So yeah, I was gonna say, when Ninja mentioned, it was originally called Area 88. I remember me and my cousin Ryan, we had them on a single issue comic books. I think Viz made them back in the day or something like that. But it's always cool how we'll know things by a certain, that's Area 88. But then here in the US they'll call it, what was it, UN, because that sounds more appeasing, or like it sounds like the better sell, right? Like UN Squadron. When Area
it has
88,
nothing to do with UN.
when Area 88 just sounds kind of badass already.
Yeah.
Like, what's that? But yeah. I was gonna say, when Jason said that game, I immediately thought about, the side scroller. It's one of the rare. No, there's
an arcade side scroller.
Yeah, there's because usually everything is at 1942, 1943 top down.
The overhead,
overhead, which I love too, because you get to learn patterns and timing on that type of stuff too. But to do it sideways,
it's like
kind of awesome.
It's like Gradius or R-Type.
Yeah, and you get to. That's the one where you get to change form and all that stuff too, right? For some of them.
No,
for some of them, yeah. Or for R-Type or whatever, yeah. Not for UN Squadron.
No, UN Squadron is completely different. I think they did have. They also did a remastered version of Robotech for the Nintendo Switch, where that being on. It was either the Nintendo DS or the Advance. I forget. I would say the DS probably. Yeah, there's like a lot of stuff that's been remade for the Switch too. What else? Oh, and my other one is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Part 4, Turtles in Time. I was playing that.
I was actually trying to watch Turtles Part 3. I don't know if I've ever finished it or seen it. Is that the one where they Turtles in Time, where they go to feudal
Japan.
Japan?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, where they go to Japan. Yeah.
Just to see if it's good or not. I don't remember it being good, but
I
the video
don't
game,
remember it being
Jason,
good
is
either.
good, right? The game
Yeah.
you're talking about is fucking excellent, dude.
The beat 'em up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is an excellent game.
Because
The
I think
movie
that's
is not good.
the first game where they actually showed when you throw the foot soldier and it hits the screen
Hmm.
towards you.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
I think that was the first one. I think.
But did Simpsons come first? Because doesn't Simpsons do something like that, or no?
I think they do, and I think the X-Men game does that too, doesn't it?
X-Men.
X-Men Arcade's one of the greatest games ever.
Yeah.
X-Men arcade game is amazing. I'm just trying to remember if they do that too. I remember you
I
can
don't
hit them
think-
while they're down.
Yeah, you can hit them
When
while
they're on
they're
the
down.
floor, you can hit them on the floor.
There's no throwing. I know that. I know Colossus grabs you and headlocks you, and then that's it.
What about the
Throwing-
Avengers game? Remember that? It was okay. I can't move. It was like when you're dead.
I've
and
never
shit.
played that game. I've never.
Oh, you
played
never
that
played
game.
that?
I don't think so. I might have, but I don't remember it at all. Because I think it was at that time where the Avengers were the B-list team.
Oh, but
'Cause
I'm
it
just
was
saying,
all
you didn't
about
come across
X-Men.
that. You didn't come across that
I-
in the arcade, though.
I might have, but I honestly don't remember because I was never an Avengers fan. You know?
That's a good beat 'em up game, though, too. I mean, just for, and you even get White Vision in there too. It's the yellow light version of Vision in there too. So
Oh, you know what? I might have played it, but it
You know
does
what I'm
not
talking
stick in. But it does not stick in my brain like the X-Men arcade game.
or the
Yeah.
Punisher. Remember that one?
I've never played that one. Was that just a shooter?
It's a Capcom beat 'em up.
I've never
With
It's,
played
Nick
that
it's
one.
Fury.
yeah, it's him and Nick Fury.
Yeah,
they just
that one-
side scroll.
That one is
Oh, shit.
amazing, dude. That one is
Yeah,
badass.
that's one of the fun ones. What was it? There's another one. Damn.
I didn't know you got Turtles in Time on Nintendo. That's awesome.
Yeah, they have it. They had the cartridge too. I actually borrowed it from a friend way back when. We
And you
played
never
all the time.
returned it, huh?
Oh no, I gave it back to him. He just asked for it, so I have to give it back to him.
Damn it.
I can't discuss anything online. I'll do it offline.
Okay.
Yeah, it's, I don't want to get in trouble.
You could be watching. Yes.
Yeah.
Any other
Sure.
recos, Jason?
I'm good. I mean, just retro gaming. If you have a chance, just do it. It's fun, especially for you, the new generation. If you've never played our games like Nintendo, Genesis, Atari, Sega.
Get mad at these games with sorry ass graphics. Get frustrated.
If you think Elden Ring's hard, play Friday the 13th on Nintendo.
Facts.
You'll get hella
Oh, shit, dude.
frustrated.
Just play Contra, dude. Just play any Contra game. You'll get so fucking frustrated. Or Ghouls and Goblins, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
Super
God.
Contra. Jesus
You'll
Christ.
fucking kill yourself.
If you love your life, don't play those games. If you love your life and be stress free, do not play those games at all. But if you want to get frustrated and rage out, yeah, play them.
Yeah, play Mega Man 3 and 4. Like, get mad at those games.
Yeah, it's all
What about you, Ninja? Any recos for this episode?
A couple. I'm watching on Hulu, or I guess if you have Crunchyroll, anime called Spy X Family, or it's just Spy Family, but it's spelled Spy X Family. I think a lot of people are talking about it right now, but it is really good. It's about this guy who's a spy. and he has to basically stop a war between these two countries. And to do that, he has to recruit a wife and a daughter, because the person that they need to monitor is a recluse who only comes out when his son is doing stuff at this very exclusive private school. So he needs to infiltrate it, and to infiltrate it, he needs to have a family. And he recruits. Well, he doesn't recruit. He adopts an orphan girl who happens to be a telepath, and he recruits a wife who happens to be an assassin, and none of them know any of each other's secrets except for the girl, because she's a telepath. So she knows that her new dad is a spy, and her new mom's an assassin. But the two parents don't know anything about that so far, and so a lot of the comedy comes from that. The Three's Company of misunderstandings and whatnot. But it's really cool. It's really fun. It's really enjoyable. It's actually kind of lighthearted, and it's actually kind of like ridiculous and over the top in some of the stuff that happens in the show. But yeah, it's just a fun time, and I recommend that anime. It's called Spy Family or Spy X Family. And over the weekend, I will recommend this movie that I watched. It's called, and I think a lot of people have been talking about this one as well, Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's the Michelle Yeoh, Jonathan Ke Quan movie. Really, really good. Finally got a chance to watch it, and it is literally everything everywhere all at once. There's just so much stuff going on. Like it starts off kind of slow, sets the scene, and then it just goes completely off the rails in a way that actually makes sense. Because if you think about it, it's kind of like a dream. It's very surreal and absurd, but the actual storyline is. It really is. Again, I can't stress enough. It is everything, because you think about it. People have been saying, articles have been written about it, talking about how it's very much a reflection of ADHD. So people who have ADHD, this is basically their movie. And if you know people with ADHD, you can kind of get a glimpse of what's going on in their head. But then the next layer down from that is like intergenerational trauma. How a grandparent interacts with a parent, interacts with a child, and all of that wrapped together. That is like all it's all of that going on. How people deal with what they're given. How do people deal with choices that they've made, regrets that they might have had? Because it's the whole. If I didn't do the X, but I did Y, where would my life be now? Kind of thing. It's got that going on. It's got, just all these traumas happening, and Michelle Yeoh is just trying to deal with it. And no matter who you are, I feel like there's something for you to take from it. If you don't have ADHD, that's fine. But, the messaging that runs throughout the movie, I think there's something relatable for everyone to grasp on and glean something from it. And I think that's really what makes this movie very interesting and very special for a lot of people. It's because everyone gets something out of it. So yeah, I recommend that. If you guys can watch it, it's called Everything Everywhere All at Once. Check that one out. The directors, they're called the Daniels. They did a movie before called Swiss Army Man. If you haven't watched that one, it's got Daniel Radcliffe in it as a corpse doing stuff. Just check it out. It's honestly really cool. But yeah, this movie is just honestly just absolutely ridiculous and makes complete sense at the same time. It's honestly kind of amazing how this movie is put together. So yeah, check that one out. Those are my recos.
I was gonna say Michelle Yeoh's been going on a hell of a press run for this movie. She's
Yeah.
literally being blasted everywhere regarding this. I saw her interview with Deezus and Mero about it,
Mm.
and she was saying how the directors grew up on her stuff. Basically, they grew up on
Mhm.
her stuff.
I mean, I did too. So
Yeah, all of us did. So like when fans actually become directors and they grow up on your stuff, they're gonna want to implement certain things about you or whatever. And I remember her saying, well, the host, they were giving them props also for one of her biggest movies ever was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And the way she spoke about that film was just so cool. She was like, that was an independent film, guys. Now you're thinking this is a huge blockbuster, and she was like, "That was an independent film that we did for $1 million." Like, so to see where she's, and even before that, she already had a career. Even by the time Crouching Tiger came out, I think even people
oh
were,
yeah, I
Michelle.
was watching her in I guess what they call Super Cop out here,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but that's when I first fucking found out about it. Well, no, I there was a movie. There was a couple movies before that. I think she was in a couple Cynthia Rothrock movies.
Yes,
A bunch of
Cynthia
like,
Roth. Yes,
yeah,
My dad loved her.
dude, her movies are amazing.
Yeah,
But
my
yeah, she
dad
was
would
definitely
always.
established. Yeah, but yeah, for sure.
I seen an article today. I didn't get to click on it, but I think the headline was like she texted Jackie Chan, "Thanks for passing up on this movie,"
Yeah.
right? And I was just like, "Oh shit." Some things were maybe meant to happen. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh man, why not get Jackie? But you know what? You know who's just as good? I mean,
Mhm.
it's her. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
shout out to her,
yeah.
man. It's kind of cool to see in that interview too. She was like, "Hey, I'm representing for older Asian women that are badass." I was like, "Fuck
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm down with that." You know what I mean? But just like what Waldo said, maybe there's something there that you may not have ADHD. You may not
Mhm.
be a kung fu guy like me. I'm not a kung
Yeah, the
fu
kung
guy.
fu stuff. The
I'm not
kung
a
fu stuff
karate
is
guy.
honestly, yeah, it's honestly, yeah. You're not the karate guy,
Nope.
but
Nope.
it honestly does take a back seat. Like there are some really cool moments of fighting in there, but it's not as central to the storyline as you would think of it would be, considering that it is Michelle Yeoh, right? Because you think, oh, Michelle Yeoh, she's gonna be this fucking like, it's gonna be an action film. It's not exactly that. It You could literally take out a lot of the action in there, and it would still be just as good because it's not about the action at all.
Crazy.
It's just a way to get people in to watch it, and then it kind of like switches up on you, and it's a family drama. That's literally what it is. It's a family drama. It's a how do I accept myself drama kind of thing. So
I was gonna say, I didn't know it was already. Is it on streaming sites already?
No.
no, I went to the theaters to watch it.
Oh, you went to the theater. Okay.
Yeah. One of the few movies that, well, it wasn't packed full of people, so it was. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go catch a movie where there's not a shit ton of people in the crowd. Like I said, I'm gonna go watch Doctor Strange. I'm just gonna wait for it to die down a little bit first before I go watch it.
Well, maybe you could be one of 60 showings that day, huh? That's fucking nuts. By the way.
It is insanely nuts.
Yeah. But shout out to that theater for doing that, though. So,
Yeah,
I was gonna say
that's it. Those two things.
I've recommended this before, but I think it's finishing off. If you guys haven't seen it for entertainment purposes, I am enjoying Winning Time, the story about the Lakers, completely unauthorized. Jerry West is now talking about I'm going to take these guys to the Supreme Court. You know what I mean? Dude, I'm sorry, but his character, even on the show, is awesome. He's an awesome character. He's, yes, a womanizer. You know, they make him out to be a womanizer. They make him out to be a drunk and all that stuff. But also, there are parts where it's like, nah, this dude's a fucking winner. You know,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of really good parts of that show. Larry Bird is my favorite character there. He is kind of just a badass, just like, you know, he has that stone cold factor about him. Like, yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about you smiling, Magic. You know, I don't give a fuck about none of that. You know, all I care about is basketball. You know what I mean? I love his hardcore approach to it. You know, and again, completely unauthorized. I believe even the NBA was pissed off that this show took the logos, actual NBA logos and jerseys and whatever else. But there's a lot of really good stuff. There are a lot of iconic moments. That famous Dr. J dunk over Michael Cooper. They actually show that dunk in the game. You know what I mean? And some of the things that they do on the show, you might have heard stories in your own childhood. I remember back in the day, I think it was Jeff Van Gundy. It was Jeff Van Gundy. He called Michael Jordan a con man. You guys remember that? Called Michael Jordan a con man because he would like to take his friends out to dinner, but then have a game with them the next day and then, you know, kill them in the game, you know. And I remember Jordan got mad and he, you know, it was called the con man game. He went and killed him for like 50 at the Garden, looking at Jeff Van Gundy like F you. But the same thing happens on Winning Time. This time it's Dr. J. Hey, I'm Dr. J. I've been here before. I'm a star. I'll show you the ropes, kid. Come out to dinner with me. You know what I mean? Same thing. Same thing. He would befriend people and then but really good characters in here. Adrian Brody, I believe, plays God, what's his name now? Pat Riley. A very great character. A very great character.
He plays Pat Riley. That's kind of
And you
odd.
get
I
to
don't
see
really
Pat
see
Riley
it,
with
but
the
okay.
mustache. You get to see Pat Riley with the mustache, hair still not slicked back yet. He's not, you know, he's not the clean Showtime guy yet. In fact, he's only I did not know this. He started off as one of the announcers or videographers and somehow got put into an assistant coach role, you know? So you
So
get to kind of
the Spolstra route.
yes, so you get to kind of see his journey. Again, very exciting, very entertaining. I'm not the biggest Laker fan, but I do enjoy basketball movies. I enjoy basketball content. Like I had to rewatch, and this is not a recommendation. I had to go rewatch Blue Chips again, right? With Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because Shaquille O'Neal said on this podcast that he did not even know Penny Hardaway when he was making that movie. He goes, "Who is that actor over there?" They're like, "That's no actor. That is going to be a first round pick for whoever, you know, you know." So because of that movie and the chemistry they
It's gonna be
had,
your the actual teammate on the
well,
Magic.
what he says from there was he called the Orlando Magic that day and he goes, "If you don't draft Penny, I'm out of here." They're like, "Dude, we're not gonna go with this guy." He was like, "Dude, you have to get this guy. If you don't get this guy, I'm fucking out of here." Because again, he didn't even know Penny filming that movie, but because of him making that movie with him, he said, "Dude, we have to be on the team together." So when Shaq is saying, "Hey, Penny was Kobe before Kobe was Kobe," you know, he was like, "Dude, Kobe had to learn to come in to be a killer. He had to learn to come in to be a killer. He had to learn that." He goes, "Penny was already a killer when he came in the league." You know what I mean? So I had to go and rewatch Blue Chips with fucking Nick Nolte's fucking ass and all this other shit just to see the chemistry and the basketball going down. And it's very entertaining. You know what I mean? But go watch Winning Time. It's a very, very good show. And not only that, another recommendation, go watch The Punisher. Probably the most violent thing that you could watch on Disney Plus right now. But I rewatched it because I really loved watching it the first time. That I wanted to see if I can actually get through the. It's pretty gory. The fight scenes are like, if people want to talk about
Yeah,
fight scenes.
It's pretty
Go
bloody.
wa-
Yeah.
Go watch a Punisher fight scene and see, like, dude, how can this guy take all this? How can this guy completely take all this? But then when you think about, well, this is his superpower, right?
Yeah.
His tolerance for pain and what he can go through. So kind of amazing to see a regular ass dude go through all that stuff, and you can watch it now on Disney Plus. Kind of crazy to watch the Punisher on such a nice platform. I know that they were getting shit for it too, for them being on this platform. But yeah. Anything else, guys? Any last words before we get up out of here?
I just got with it. I just want to shout out to the legendary James Hong for finally getting his star on the Walk of Fame this week. Bay Area legend, cinema legend, doing it for
Forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
And still going. And still going.
I mean, he was in Everything Everywhere All at Once as
Yep.
Michelle Yeoh's Pops.
Crazy.
Yeah.
At the age of 93, he finally got his star.
Decades of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Crazy.
the people, and what's crazy is the biggest supporters that he had were there for him when he got the star. So it was Simu Liu and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was awesome.
Shout out to Jamie Lee Curtis, man. Rest in peace also to George Perez. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Lost a legend this week. I know he was battling with his illness for such a
Yeah.
long time.
I think Neil
Um,
Adams too.
Yep.
The week before.
Yep, Neil Adams a week before. He gave us the modern day Batman that we love and know. You know, brought a lot of the macabre into Batman, a lot of the gothic themes that we know and love. So yeah, we're losing some of our heroes now. You know what I mean? Even though these gentlemen are, you know, they've put their time on Earth. Of course, they put in their time on Earth, but they are, you know, especially the people like us that here at the Hub. You know, we enjoy their work just because their work has influenced so many other people into doing great things, especially in comic books, and they'll go and you know, inspire us too. So yeah, I hope you guys liked tonight's episode. Thank you guys. We will be back next week. Same Elite X Hub time, same Elite X Hub channel. Thank you guys if you happen to be watching us on Kumu, if you happen to be watching us on YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff. Thank you guys. We appreciate you guys. Hopefully, hopefully, if we are doing an episode next week, hopefully that sponsorship deal I'm trying to work on, maybe it could work out here for the Hub 408. So I was going to say thank you to everyone that came in, like Love Kita, Celeste, Lou, Hold True. Essential Goto was here watching us, I think, a majority of the time. Thank you guys. That's pretty much it. Shout out to everybody out there. We appreciate you guys. We love y'all. And we'll see you guys next week. Take care. Bye-bye. All right.